Where was it?
We might be live on Twitch while we're doing this. Oh yeah, go live. Live. It says live.
It says live. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Hello.
Great. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this stream of the 2026 British Junior Chess Championship. We are going to be looking at all the sections: under 16, under 14, under 12, under 10, under 8 even. Yeah, we should have a lovely time together. We're a little bit late. I do apologize for that. Just took a little bit longer to set up than we thought, but we'll be with you for the next period, just looking at some games from Britain's brightest juniors. So let's have a look. Well, we've got the under 16s here.
Yeah.
I
think we should start with the under 8s just because
they finish quicker. You're right. There we are. Oh, well, indeed.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness. There we are. So, indeed, we've got some results already, but let's have a look at the first game that doesn't have a result yet. And we're having a look at the game between Sarvani Kasinaduni and Anish Bijibila. So, let's have a little look what this was.
Oh, there's a threat here in this position. That's what I can tell you.
There is definitely a threat
here. Threat that
a
if
big
Black
threat
doesn't do
of
something.
Rook D8 check, indeed, with checkmate. So what does Black have to do here? Well, I mean, the simplest way to defend would be to involve this rook in the game.
Yeah.
So what would you want to do? Well,
get that knight out.
Indeed, you could play it there or there, but that would be captured. So the best move here would probably be knight a6. And actually, Black's doing fine here. Equal pawns, all the pieces in play now. The knight's going to come to c5, and White's got a weak little pawn there. Another line, if you wanted to be just to be complete, you could say that. Oops, I'm sorry. That Black could also play just rook e8 to defend the threat, but obviously it doesn't do anything about that knight on b8. So
I'd much rather get the piece out, to be honest.
Exactly, that's right. So so that's looking quite balanced. But yeah, we'll see what happens. What happens there? Knight a6 was played indeed, and then rook fd1, and well. White's sort of renewing the threat, but it's not really a threat, because if you go rook to d8 in this position, I could always just play rook e8 just to deal with it. So it's not a huge threat, but of course it's a natural move. To be honest, I think I'd probably want to play the move knight c5 because that covers the 7th rank. And then if you come here and I come here, you can't get your rook onto the 7th. So
yeah,
you know that would be that would be very nice. So and I think knight c5 and the positions around balance. You know, White's got a good strong knight on e5. You might play f4 to reinforce it. You know, I think it's like knight c5, maybe f4 here. So White's got quite a nice structure there, but Black's got a lovely outpost on c5 as well for the knight.
So how many players have we got in this under 8 section?
Well, I'm seeing 19 boards,
so 38 players. And we hear that the entry for the junior competitions this year is higher than ever before. So that's very, very nice.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely brilliant, isn't it?
So certainly for the Rapid yesterday, there was so many entrants, they had to change room. It was a big sellout.
And I have to say that the excitement that you see when with all of the kids playing the Rapid and the Blitz, it was amazing. Just really nice to see. This looks like it's going to be finished soon, I think.
Oh, there's a big
We've got a very big threat here of queen g2 checkmate.
And what do you do about that?
You don't do anything about it, I'm afraid. Yeah. That's a very powerful game from Black there. This is a complicated game. This is Shivani Kasinaduni against Shivani and Savani.
Right.
Lovely. Against Gavin Sharma. And this is quite a complicated little French. So Black is actually a pawn up. This B pawn has disappeared. But on the other hand, White's got a fair amount of pressure on this B6 pawn, and White's just played rook AB1 and looking to pressure there. So yeah, I mean, Black's got a number of good moves actually. f5 is one of them, actually. You might just say, give that that b pawn. After here, I'd go e4. We're really destroying the center.
Because black's like managed to open up the center quite nicely and has more of the forces in the center. White's going to get some pressure down the b file because white can still come in a little bit more. Rook b7.
Yeah, rook b7. We could probably just move back, and it's you know, the fact that we're killing the center here is probably you know, more important. I was actually wondering.
So maybe white shouldn't actually allow this at all.
Well,
take on f6 first. For example.
Well, it's black's move here, so
white doesn't have that choice.
No, doesn't have that choice. I was actually wondering whether even something like this might be better. Or maybe something, this is more precise. Just that you say, okay, we're just going to break up this.
This is giving up it's giving up pieces for a rook.
Yeah, but then
getting the center.
Look at those massive pawns. That's really, really dangerous. So, I mean, something like that might also be quite good if you don't fancy giving white, you know, some counterplay along the b file there. But I think in general that would also be quite good. In general, I think black's, you know, well on top here and got a number of promising alternatives. So let's have a look. This is Arav Minas against Jarajaj Shenul. Or is it Shenul Jarajaj? Maybe actually, I haven't got the comma or anything there. So what is this position? Material is equal in actual fact. Black's got a bishop, white's got a knight, and the bishop's stacking the rook, but of course the queen is attacked as well. So black's got to decide where to put that that queen.
The thing that first springs to my mind is dropping it back to d6.
D6 is a very sensible move. It's always yeah. I mean, you know, how do you decide, you know, where to put the queen like that? I mean, often there's no calculation, I think, to it. It's more a general question. Would you put it on e7? No, because the rook would come to e1 with tempo. Would you put it on f8? No, because you're interrupting the communication of the queen. So you just find one active move for it. And I guess that's the value of experience there. You know, that you just sort of know. Yeah, this is just a good square. You don't need to calculate anything. So yeah, bishop c4 threatening the rook on f1. So probably rook e1 will happen there, and then afterwards, what will we do with black? We've got a variety of sensible things. We could just decide to exchange off the rooks there. I'd be vaguely tempted to try and somehow make some use of the fact that the queen's on f5. It feels like, you know, it's a little bit exposed. Maybe you could cause some problems. I mean, h4 feels vaguely tempting because I'm threatening h3 just to weaken the white king side, and somewhere in there might be a threat of rook h5. When look at the queen here.
Is it completely trapped?
It is actually completely trapped. The only way that white could do it.
Queen a5?
No, if I've got the rook on h5, then so knight g5 would be possible, but that's a self pin. So, and you never know. Then you might have something, even something like bishop e6, for example. So h4 seems quite tempting to me in that position. That would be one of the nice things. I mean, another thing that you could try, I suppose, the move knight e5 is going to be might be a little bit annoying if you're not careful. So I was trying to make something like knight g4 work as well, with similar sort of ideas really with the queen. But after h3, that's not. I'd like to sacrifice something somehow, but I'm not sure it's going to work. Maybe a sensible move as well would be to play a move like bishop e6 and then afterwards knight d5, because the bishop on c4, in all fairness, is not really doing that much. You know, it's attacked the rook, but now it's probably time to get it back and then go to a move like knight d5. I mean, the nice thing about playing a move like bishop e6, you try and put the knight on d5, then you play f6 and you're covering, you know, these squares. So that would be quite good.
Can we pop to the top of the tournament? I know the games are all finished, but let's just see who the top few seeds are in this section as well.
So we've got Nikesh Akaria, 1824 rating. That's pretty good for an under 8.
Under 8.
We've got Ryan Garnsworthy. Yeah, we've seen Ryan before, against Advait Shivakuma, and so rated 1594. We've got Isak Radjev against unplayed, Black is victorious. So that was, and then here we're back to.
And that's where we saw. Okay,
indeed,
cool.
Brilliant. So look, we've got where were we? Sarah Caudry,
who we're guessing is related.
Must be sister of Mary. Indeed, must be sister of Mary.
And we hear Mary did very well in the rapid yesterday.
Yeah, I think she won the overall section. I think so.
Well
Brilliant.
Congratulations.
Yeah. We've seen Mary before. Very determined player. Very good player. Yet another, of the amazing richness of talented English juniors. So. This very interesting game, actually. White's a pawn up, but Black's got a very active queen here.
Hello. Saying hi to Yuri. Just walked into the commentary
hello,
room.
Yuri. So we've got the queen on b3 here. These pawns on c3, a3 very weak. On the other hand, it's hard to say, isn't it? Really, is that queen really active and tying down the white queen, or is it out of the way? And I think that Sarah's
a little bit stuck.
Sarah was trying to actually get it back. So, yeah, the problem is that what you could imagine is this pawn moving to here, and then at some stage maybe the rook moving away, and then just in one go the queen moves away, attacks the rook, and all of a sudden this doesn't matter at all.
The trouble is, right, if the pawn gets so far up, then the black queen's a little bit out the way, and the black rook is also a little bit stuck. And tying down the pawn.
Exactly. I mean, if the pawn, for example, if we were to let's just make just a couple of moves, pawn there. Actually, Black doesn't have much defending the king. You could even at some stage give up the pawn, move the rook into here, the queen into here, and all of a sudden we're going to deliver mate. So.
Yeah. So it's just one pawn, but it makes a huge difference.
It makes a huge difference. A passed pawn, a central passed pawn like that, very, very dangerous. And so it just looks like White's got the upper hand here. We'll have a look at Teja Sarah Anwar against Teja Spy. I think this one is going to maybe it's probably even ended, because I think Queen takes f4 is going to happen, and that is a lot of pieces for Black, I'm afraid. Indeed. Then we've got Koan Nguyen against Elisa Elia, and this is another one where we're expecting.
Okay, so Black is bravely battling on with the c pawn, but the fast extra material for White.
Indeed, yeah, this is going to be pretty good for White. Let's keep on.
Never resign. You never know. You never know. But I mean, when I was teaching in a school one time, and we arranged these matches against the other school, and everyone had a lovely time. It was really, really nice. But some of the boards they played on, they went on for ages with one side with like 3 queens and 2 rooks and all this sort of stuff against the king. But sometimes it would work as a checkmate and sometimes a stalemate, because they were just starting out. But everybody had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, I once played a very large simul against an awful lot of juniors, and the simul actually ended up taking quite a lot of time because everyone played onto mate.
Played right on.
Yeah, indeed. Whereas against adults, they resign a lot earlier. So that was a lesson to be learned. It's we've got a lot of games here where it's clear that one side is just in the finishing off process here.
Yeah.
So and we've got a lot of wins at the back. Let's have a look at last 2 games. Oh, this is.
But just on that topic, right? Even it's not just humans that's a phenomenon for, because we learnt when engines also started out training, they used to play at random against each other, but then they used to play on for ages, and sometimes you'd have to just stop the game in process when they were first learning how to play, because neither side could force a checkmate because they just didn't have that technique yet.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's all a question of learning, isn't it? It's this is a game where it's still quite tight, but Black a piece up here. This pawn hanging here as well. Actually, King h7 very safe, defending the pawn on g6, very good. And this should be a win, of course, for Black.
I was just wondering, Yuri, would you like to say a few words about the competition? Don't need to put you on the spot there, but if you do, you're welcome to come up and say hello. Have a think, and if you do, you are welcome.
All right, that was the under 8s, I think.
Yes, let's move to the under 10s.
Indeed. These you can. Quite amazing, actually. The under 8s, there were loads and loads of games finished, and under 10s, it's all serious stuff somehow.
I think as they get a bit older,
just between 8
slow
and
down
10.
a little bit.
Yeah, that's very impressive, to be honest. It's this is Advik Saxon. We've seen him before.
Definitely commentated on Advik before.
Against Clara Deng, and this was a Budapest, Natasha.
Oh, excellent!
One of your favourites.
Yes, I want to see it all.
So
the Budapest Gambit can be quite trappy if white. So black, what black does is give up a pawn early on, and if white doesn't know the moves, there's quite a few little tricks that can win the game very, very early.
No, exactly. I mean, one of the key ideas. I mean, when I was a young professional, I'd say there were many games where black is playing a5, rook a6, and swinging the rook over to h6. Yeah. A lovely, so many lovely lines, but unfortunately, that doesn't really. Normally speaking, it doesn't happen
nowadays. At top
level,
they know this trap.
They do know all this stuff, yeah. But actually, the way that both players have played it, we've got quite a solid little position. White is just a little bit better in these positions. The pawn on c4 against the pawn on d6. There's no d6 to d5 break, and there never will be. So white's got a fairly permanent space advantage. The fact that you've played the pawn to e3 rather than e4 makes it tougher for black to create counterplay. You know, when black plays a move like f5, you're not, freeing yourself at all. And white's got several sensible plans, like, for example, maybe expanding on the queen side, moving the rooks to here and to here. It's not terrible for black at all, but it's a solid, stable advantage for white there. b6 is quite that's quite a normal idea, to put the bishop on b7. White played e4, so I said that wasn't necessarily the best move. To be honest, I think I would have preferred a move like f4 followed by bishop f3. That would have been quite nice, just to embarrass the rook and gain space, chase the knight away from this strong position. But e4, black reacted with f5, which is right. That's a good move to attack the pawn on e4. The only problem is it's got a bit of a tactical flaw.
Oh dear.
Which we've got queen d5 check here, and with forking.
That could happen now.
Yeah, that happened. That happened. Yeah. So
yes. White was sharp to spot this.
Indeed. Book. So bishop e6 will have to be played, and that just means, of course, that white is winning a piece and a pawn. Now black was clever. Played the move c6.
Trying to trap the queen.
And rook f6 is a big threat.
Yeah.
But Advik was very attentive. Yeah. Played the move knight e4, stopped rook f6. And if you go rook e8, we'll go queen takes d6. So black still resourcefully trying to organize something, defending the pawn on d6. But white's gone rook a d1 there. And, well, it's soon going to be. Mm-hmm. Soon your tricks are going to end there, I'm afraid. Knight takes d6 and just loads of material. So yeah, hard luck black there. Just a correct idea, but just a little tactic, just ruined the day there. Oh, well, this one's looking quite good for Jason Hu against Ollie Rackham, because black is a rook up.
Yes.
Nothing much to be said about that one. Oh, this is a sharp-looking position. This is Min Nguyen against Zhong Boyu, and actually, this is there's possibility of a shock here, because black is the low-rated player and has
looks nice for black,
wonderful position indeed.
The very active bishop on g7, looking all the way down to where white's king is, and also the black queen is right in the position. So white will probably be looking for opportunities to get the knight out of the way. get the rook out into the open.
Yeah, I mean the big problem for white is this pawn on b2. That's the immediate danger. I mean the bishop's pointing there, the queen can get into contact, and there's another very big move that can play, which is a3, just to further open up that king side. And then once you take off there, then I actually get access to a square like c3, and I also get access to the a1 square. So this is really a very, very difficult position for white. And I mean, I don't think that you'll see white. I think the maximum that white can get is in the short term is to survive and
giving up the pawn.
Giving up the pawn, and
you might have to give something up.
You'll have to give something up in order to get yourself ready there. So I was just wondering, because with the opening, you'd think a King's Indian or maybe a dragon or something like that, but it was actually a Caracal. With this trendy knight f6 line that David Howell always plays. White didn't take it, and then black just played the move g6, and black developed the bishop over here. Very sensible play from black, by the way. This is actually just you couldn't really say any better. Black's just swapped off that light squared bishop. With in these sort of Caracal modern type structures. With a pawn on c6 like this, black often wants to swap off the light squared bishops, because in general in black openings, black always has one minor piece too many to really develop comfortably. So exchanging one like that is a common thing, and you see it in the Queen's Gambit declined, in the Petrov a lot, all sorts of openings. So this is very sensible, and by taking on f3, you also weaken white's control of e5, so you get to play e5 here. And actually, black's played a truly lovely game. Actually, just opening up everything, getting in the dark squares, very impressive.
So black's elo 1462, but I imagine that's well on the way up.
Absolutely, very impressive play from black there. So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out.
That's a good question.
Probably not the ECF one.
In these internationals, they do normally try and do the FIDE rating if they've got it available. So it could be the rating used for the tournament, which might be a FIDE or ECF. Or
because some of the players don't have the rating, but
and some are not rated. I guess at this age, some just haven't played enough games of against rated people. But a big opportunity in this tournament is that you do get to play a lot of rated players, and so some of the juniors playing in this tournament could come away with a rating even if they don't have one currently.
Well, they have a crazy K factor, so they'll just
and they'll shoot up, and they can shoot up as well. Yeah.
Let's have a look. We've got a player here who doesn't have a rating, Yaksha Tripurari against Harrison Condren. And this is a tough old battle. This one, not what you'd expect in the under 10s, really. More in the seniors, Natasha? It's
what are you saying, Matthew?
It's just a tight positional battle. No pieces exchanged after 17 moves. Very unusual for an under 10 game. And
I'd like to remind you, you're perfectly.
I know, no. It could be one of my games too. It's no, but you see also they played G3, G6. Just a pretty solid Grunfeld opening. It's just
a very mature play from these two.
Exactly. So and both players have developed quite nicely. I mean, this putting the bishop on a6 is quite rather than b7, quite common, just to irritate white by putting pressure on there. And if the pawn moves forward or if it's taken, then the bishop's got is sort of cutting across the white position. Moving the knight from c3 to f4 is very nice. It's just putting a little bit of pressure. You might get a little h4, h5 later, for example. So yeah, both players playing quite interestingly. Bishop f8 is probably not my favorite move, because black's pawn's predominantly on light squares, and also g6 has been played. You've got the fianchetto, so the squares on h6 and f6 are weak, and here you're exchanging off your dark squared bishop. So normally speaking, I'd say white would be happy with that. If white would probably have wanted to force it rather than and here it's sort of given to white on a plate like that. But it's not. It's just a small concession, I think. And what would I want to do after here? I mean, what could white aim for? E4 is sometimes an idea, normally when you put your knight on c3, so that's not going to be white's plan. I'd say that a move like h4 is quite interesting now, because black's got to decide how to react to that. If you go h5, then we're even considering sacrifices like this, and really putting the king into danger there. And if you allow the pawn to go to h5, then this whole pawn chain is under pressure. And I might even just put it on h6 and really irritate the black king there.
So white is looking then to attack kingside here, because I think we've had some conversations separately about this having a bishop on g2, which is pointing the other way. But in this position, we do have for white a queen pointing at the king side and two knights pointing at the king side and a pawn coming up. So it is enough to kind of start thinking about.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I suppose you're not really thinking about an all-out kingside attack, but you're just looking in this position at what sort of pressure points have I got? And this is definitely an easy one to do. And also with that exchange of the dark squared bishop, the black king looks a little bit denuded there, really. So, I mean, another pressure point that you could maybe have a little think about trying to play a4 to a5, just to, you know, attack the queen side, maybe put a major piece on the open file and just ask this bishop, you know, what you're going to do.
So white looking to use both the extreme edges
exactly,
of the board. Exactly.
And for black, you know, by contrast, black would be looking more at ideas with either c5 or e5. Difficult to achieve for black at the moment because there's quite a bit of pressure on that center, you know. So in principle, I think white's got a pleasant little edge there.
But a lot of the game left.
A lot of the game left, yeah, absolutely. We've got Alice 1 against Jack Mao. So,
So Alice representing Scotland and Jack representing England.
Exactly. So, interesting little position. Two bishops against two knights. Black's got an extra pawn, but white, white with the two bishops has got you know, a fair amount of compensation here. Question is, I can take the b6 pawn, but then the c2 pawn would hang.
Hello, Imperial Purple. Thank you.
Imperial Purple. Well done. Thank you for joining. So, yeah, the question is, can we win this pawn? I mean, one thing in actual fact, yeah, c3 is a very natural move. I mean, one funny thing would be to take here and then try and see whether you could trap the knight, you know, with a move like rook b1 and just herd it out of play. Another idea could be to, you know, play a move like rook e2 and then play a move like look for e5 at some stage. But white's played the most natural move, which is to play the move c3. And now hoping that knight moves away and bishop takes the pawn.
So to me, this is quite, like I'd prefer to be white, but I think it's quite good drawing chances because it's like a similar number of pawns. I guess white's going to get a pawn back.
Well, yeah.
Or are they?
Well, it's not 100% clear. I mean, black's knights are very active and white's bishops are not super duper. You know, so I mean, here, for example, black can play the move knight b5 and fork these two. So after, you'll have to go bishop b6. And then knight takes c3. And white can play e5. And I think the likelihood that black really can keep hold of all of his pawns is quite small, I think. But still.
So you prefer black?
Black is somewhat better. No, with the two bishops, you sort of assume, well, two bishops pawn down. But there's just the current, it's just the situation at the moment where you just say, yeah, it's just white's pieces aren't quite right in the position. So black's a little bit better. We've got e4, best by test, and
scared the opponent away.
Indeed.
And now we do have Mary.
Mary, yes, that's right. Oh, so
look at these knights. This is funny. Look at the little box of knights on e6, f6, e5, and f5. But it's lovely always to have a knight in f5, isn't it? Knight f5 and then mate follows. It's the saying goes.
Yeah, I mean, actually, again, both players have played this, you know, nicely as well. So I mean, black's maneuvered nicely with the knights as well, and white, of course, has done a good attacking structure like that. Maybe the only thing that you say for black is that normally you probably want that bishop over on f8. You know, when it got I think it you know, a3 in this position, bishop d. No, but black didn't have the opportunity. Yeah, that was clever from Mary. just did that. That was a bit of a strange move, but now she's come back. Now that the pawn's gone to there, and yeah, the fact that this bishop isn't on here makes it very hard to chase away this knight on f5.
So what's the bishop over there got to do with chasing away the knight on f5, Matthew?
Well, if you had the bishop on f8, it would defend the pawn on h6, and then you could play the move g6, for example, and the h6 pawn is defended.
True.
Whereas now, after g6, you just take on h6 and then take on f7, and disaster would ensue. So
Mary's going on the king side. There's another thing to point out is the pawn structure in this game. And so if click these ones. So this kind of pawn structure where white has the 5 pawns and black. So white's lost the c pawn and black the e pawn. Then they call that the Carlsbad structure.
indeed.
And there's sort of historic plans against it is to the blacks played the freeing move c5, so that's probably quite a good idea against this pawn structure.
Yeah, I'm again. It's really. I mean, it's really good to see juniors playing. Just really good, sensible moves like that. I mean, black is a little passive in this position, solid but passive. Got a good grip of the center, grip of the e4 square as well, but. What is black? Black isn't putting any pressure on white's position, and if you give Mary a bit of time, I'm sure that f4, bishop h4, and some sort of
because she loves to attack.
Oh, she loves attacking.
She plays quiet openings at first, and
indeed.
Then
She's really lovely, Mary. So, but very, very keen on active play there. So, the fact that black's playing c5 is pretty good, and this can work in a number of ways. First of all, you can just leave it there and just always have it as a reminder for white that I could change the pawn structure at any moment. So that sort of inhibits white from pushing too far in a certain direction. You could also play a move like c4. Now, in the good old classical times, releasing the tension in the center in these positions was felt to be a total disaster. But you do see it actually being played more and more also by engines and all of that. Basically, it's not always bad. I mean, I think that's the thing that we can say, gaining space, coming through. However, because white's so fast already with the knights on f5 and has got such an attacking structure already, that's maybe a little bit would be a little bit more worrying.
So white, you're expecting to come in with the pawns first on the king side, and
yeah,
then maybe follow up with the major pieces behind.
Yes, that's right.
Pawns once you've kind of loosened it all up a bit.
That's right. I mean, one idea that black's got as well is to play the move knight e4. Which trying to maybe exchange off the bishop and also just putting a knight on a good square. It's supported now by the by the bishop now that the diagonal is opened. So I mean, what would white do? White's got a number of things. I mean, first of all, this move c5, it opens up a possibility like bishop b5 when the rook's in a little bit awkward. It has got a square, but remember this idea because these sort of things can easily get a little bit awkward. Probably the move that I would really be looking at with white is to play, if I could, to play the move bishop h4.
That wouldn't be obvious to me, I think, if I was playing this game. But it looks nice now you show it. But,
it's just that you've got this knight on f5, which can't be driven away. And this bishop is on b8, so it can't, break the pin at any way. And I mean, you've even got ideas like knight g4 to increase the pressure, so there's all sorts of little ideas to it.
Would black ever want to go g5 and try and get a bit more space while forcing back the bishop?
Well, there's several...
bit of a problem with it.
There's several
problems.
I mean, just say in general, the problem to a move like g5, it's what they always say, pawns can't move backwards, and it just makes this square an eternal gain for white, so that's bad enough. But there's also specifically knight takes h6 and knight f7, which would win lots. But I mean, bishop h4 is interesting. The only thing that I'm wondering about there is whether black could resolve things tactically, and whether it's even good. You could play a move like c takes d4, for example. What's your idea? Well, let's just say rook takes c1 here. So obviously, rook takes c8 rather. Queen c8 would allow a move. Well, you could allow a couple of different moves. Bishop f6 check is bishop f6 rather is very dangerous because we've got knight
This looks like it's
h6
gone wrong.
and then knight f7 and then queen g4. It's definitely
this
gone
has
very
gone
wrong. So black would probably play the move bishop takes c8.
Yeah.
And then what we want to do, obviously with c takes d4, we've undermined the knight on here, so we'd really want to take here. But black could play the move knight takes d4 with the idea of takes here, bishop takes e5.
So that was quite good.
Well, I mean there are all sorts of there are all sorts of things. There's one thing that you could do is
Knight f7.
Yeah, but what is it? It's
a Zwischenzug.
It's a Zwischenzug. So on the plug.
Yeah, there's a very, very, very good book on that.
Absolutely. So king takes f7, and then knight d4. Well, I mean, black's got a slightly weakened king and a weak pawn. You know, so in principle that's good. The only thing you have to watch out with in these type of positions with white is that there's nothing like a good old bishop h2 check and knight g4 check threat with this one hanging.
Yeah.
But that doesn't
Good
work in this
G4.
position. There's a very typical thing, queen g4. Very important to know these patterns because it's often just at the end of the variation that you calculate, you know, and
Bishop takes queen. There's a bishop.
Yeah, but then the other bishop takes the other queen.
Let me just show you that one. That's here, and then we're attacking the queen.
Oh.
Yeah, it's one of
So we
those.
should look one move further, and that's a long sequence. That one.
It's a long sequence, yeah.
Sorry.
You could also actually one thing you might think of is to play the move knight c6 as well. So we fork these two guys, and then if you go queen c7, you're threatening mate on here, but you would probably take, maybe even throw in a bishop g3 here, because if queen b7, we've got this little knight d6 fork. So we actually managed to chase your queen all over to the corner of the board, and then we can take this pawn. That would be possible. You'd even have a move like either bishop f6 or, if you want to be fancy, knight h6.
Bishop f6, and then
this would be very, very strong.
Up the king side, that looks nice to me.
So that's that. So bishop h4 to me would be probably the nicest move, I think. Mary's played the other move, bishop b5, which I think is also.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, after rook f8, you could also
still go.
You could still consider bishop h4 because we've got some we're actually threatening bishop takes f6, queen f6, and knight d7.
That's crafty.
Forking the two.
Although the knight
on f5 is hanging. Sorry, with having played bishop b5, the knight on f5 is hanging. So not quite that, but I think bishop h4 would be a reasonably nasty move there, you know. But black has played rook f8 there, so we'll see what Mary's got planned. But it's funny because Mary's such a nice girl, but so
brutal attacker,
so keen on attacking. It's really really funny. It's how personality comes out like that in chess.
Oh, I'm looking at this. How did the bishop get there? It's a little bit constrained, isn't it? Black's very cleverly trapped in the white bishop on h2 here.
That's very, very painful.
It's going to be hard for white to stop kind of things happening on different areas of the board because that's so fenced in.
Yeah. I mean, the bishop can help stop e4 to e3, but obviously there's the queen side as well, which is
I guess black can just kind of maneuver the
black
king. Although, how do you get the king actually in?
Well, I mean, you could go king d5, go e3, and then come in with king e4 and just use that pawn as a distraction on the side. So yeah, I mean, there should be many ways of winning that. And you could also just another way would be to bring the king to here, move the king to here, and then move the knight around to combine against the pawn on c3. You know, because two pieces attacking the pawn, only the king can defend, and this bishop is way away. So that would also be good. Got a lot of ways to win that. It's so what have we got? We've got Francis Millward against Jeremy Gu. And white is a pawn up, a nice protected pass pawn up. So that's
that pawn on d5 looks nice, doesn't it?
that's a very nice pawn. There's no clear way yet to win. I think what white should probably be looking for is to redeploy this knight, which is currently not doing a great deal on g3.
Where would you go? F1 and E3?
F1 and E3 is a very nice one, because then after D6 you can follow up with knight D5. That would be probably my choice. Yeah, I think that's definitely the best one. I mean, you could also consider knight E2. Knight E2 round to C3. It just does a similar sort of thing actually, and maybe also thinks
you
about.
You can't do it at the moment because it gets taken on.
Exactly. Yeah, that's not possible at the moment. But that would be another idea. But knight F1 to E3 would be most sensible. Queen B3 is fine. It doesn't really anything. But maybe just not. You could just be a bit more concrete, a bit more decisive.
Because you think that probably that knight on G3 is white's worst placed piece, so it might be that's the one to really think about where you want to get it to.
Yeah, I mean, it's an important tip for hello for starting players. It's an important thing to because it can save you an awful lot of trouble instead of staring at a position and not really knowing what to do. You just look at your pieces and count them and just say, oh, this guy's not doing very much. So it's a.
If you have a game you want to show, you're welcome to show it, or else, of course, we can watch. Okay.
Oh,
fine.
okay.
Well, if your son would like
which section?
Not in the juniors. Yes. Okay, cool.
Let's have a look. We've got Emma Medea Kuchukaru against Mason So, sorry. And this is another tough little battle here with just one pawn exchanged after 16 moves, and both players having spent quite a lot of time thinking, which is good to see.
I noticed white's lined up the bishop and the queen, hoping to be able to.
That's right. Yeah.
I feel like it's adequately blocked though, so it's going to be tricky.
I think white was actually trying to tempt forward this pawn by attacking this one.
So that would be a trap.
That would be a trap indeed, because if you move the pawn forward, then we'd take this one, which would be very, very painful. However, black played the move knight a5, which is a good move. It's always nice when you can defend against an opponent's threat and also make a threat yourself. So the queen now is defending this pawn, which is no longer attacked by this bishop. And this knight is attacking the queen on b3, so white's got to decide to do something. And of course, when the queen moves away from b3, white's lovely battery is destroyed there.
Although the bishop's still,
the bishop's still lurking. That's
sitting there
right.
waiting for development. Perhaps.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, white can do two things. Queen a3 is possible. It's a move that contains a threat, but I wouldn't be very happy after b6. That queen really does look a little bit awkward, and you're maybe going to have to start doing strange or weakening things like this to get it free. So my feeling would be, unless there's a really good reason for doing it, I'd put the queen on c2.
Safer, a bit more central.
That's right, and just and white's position is completely reasonable. Black's too. Just an equal game with lots to play for both sides.
Would you, as black, be tempted to play c4 and try and shut out that bishop? Or are you a bit more worried that that'll kind of give white a bit?
That is a double-edged one. These are the interesting decisions, because it's always in equal positions. There's always this balance. You have to give something up in order to get something back. And here we block out this bishop on a2. But on the other hand, we concede this square, and we we create some weaknesses around this pawn. My feeling on that would be that I wouldn't be 100% sure now.
You'd probably leave
So
that in
I'd probably
reserve.
wait, thinking that I've probably got a chance to do it later anyway, because the only way that white could prevent it would be to play the move c4,
And
then
that still blocks
well, then he's
initiative.
doing the blocking for me. So I think that, so those sort of decisions, I think I would probably think about maybe putting a rook onto here, just to defend the pawn, and who knows, simply. Another very typical and sensible idea is to play a move like h6, king h7. h6 stops a knight coming into here, stops white from ever doing some sort of battery like this, and also because this move is prevented by a move like h6, you can put the bishop on e6 and the knight won't be able to attack it. Nothing sort of stunning or huge in any of that. Just trying to gradually creep forward by protecting a few squares. It's we've got Trisha Tarihalkar against Aniksha Sohal. It's this is a sort of
interesting position. Isn't it? It sort of looks quite quiet in a way because it's just major pieces and one minor piece.
Exactly.
Each.
We've got, both sides have got their pluses. So white's got a weakened king side, of course, but black's got a weak pawn on d6. So what is going to happen there? I mean, the nice thing about this is that because of those weakened king side pawns, and the fact that then the white king's a little exposed, I think you're probably going to lose this pawn, but you sort of say, I've got compensation because I've got other weaknesses to attack. So I would expect black to play a move maybe like queen a5, also having a look at these weak pawns. Right. And
that's interesting. You're moving the queen out in the queen side direction as opposed to the king side, because I would be thinking, like my first thought would be go the other way, like h4, although there isn't such a direct target with it straight away.
Well, we can all, that's the beauty of the queen, of course. We can always
move it around anyway.
I mean, that's one of the differences between I'd say queen and bishops and knights. That with a knight, you've really got to decide early, where does my knight want to go, because he's got little legs. And it takes him a long time to get anywhere. Whereas with a bishop or a queen, you can put him on one side and then say, oh, just in one move he's over on the other side. So you're a lot more flexible when it comes to queens and bishops. But knights, you've got to think a little bit in advance about where would he really want to be, and then he can go there with his little legs.
It's silk. Yes, we're cheering for silk because we played in the Bughouse tournament yesterday.
Exactly.
And one of the participants there was silk.
That's right, and did pretty well in that tournament, and doing pretty well here.
She's got a good position here.
Yeah, she's black in this game, and 2 pawns up. White's attacking this one, but she's played a4 to protect it. And this
is fearsome. These pawns coming down the queen side so quickly.
Yeah, this is looking really, really good.
For white to block these now.
This is looking really, really good for silk. So let's have a look. We keep on going. We've got Spriya Punjabi against Zain Youssef, and this is another one where black's quite a bit of material up. I think it's 2 pawns, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6
yes,
against 4. That'll be 2.
That'll be 2. Thank you. And I mean, black is just winning in principle. Always takes, you need some care and some pardon me, some attention to do this.
Hello.
But this should just be winning for black. I mean, in general, what would you do with black? You'd probably aim to bring the king into the center just to cover some weak squares, and then start moving your central and king side majority down. You just visualize the position. How would my position look like this? And you say, oh, that would be nice, wouldn't it? And then you just go and do it. There's not so much that white can really do about that. So this is a bit of a confusing position.
Max Nguyen, we had another Nguyen in this competition as well, didn't we? So they might or might not be related, because I know it's a very common name.
Yeah, this is one of those things where black is getting agonizingly close to delivering mate on g2. Only probably something is going to interrupt it before then, and then disaster is going to strike black, because you're probably going to play the move queen
Oh.
takes g4 check, I guess. This king's in
Check.
trouble, and then
That's
afterwards,
important. That's check.
yeah, and then afterwards we're probably going to block, maybe with a move like d5, for example. I mean, we could also play a move like queen e4, and yeah, you're not going to get to this square. White's material up, and you've got some. Yeah, this pawn is weak rather than strong now.
Yeah.
So it's really that's one of the things about chess. A lot of it is about timing. You know, you can.
So I guess you could. I was just looking at it the other way around, right? You could do d5 first, and then the queen has to move, and you'd still hopefully.
Yeah, I just
can defend.
I just noticed queen c4, which would I mean that's also would be very good. I mean, knight e3 for white is possible, but you can keep force the exchange of queens like that. Well, you could have knight f5 there. Maybe that would be even stronger indeed. You know, so
different ways of doing it.
Different ways, but very good for white. Also, this is an interesting little position. Opposite coloured bishops. No pawns exchanged yet here. So now probably white, you probably feel that white's got a slight edge here because, yeah, this bishop's doing quite well on h6.
Attacking that rook as well.
That's right. It's just that whites have the possibility to take on d4, take on e5 rather, and maybe, start occupying those light squares. And you sort of feel that that's easier for white to exert a grip on his light squares than for black to exert a grip on the dark squares. But it's not huge. I mean, black's also got the possibility of playing this move h4, which is going to be very annoying as well, just to fight for the kingside dark squares, put a bit of pressure on the king. So it's probably around, I tend to assume that white was a little bit better, but not that much. And finally in this section, this is looking very good for white, isn't it? Ariana Mander against Om Mukherjee. And this is looking,
White's got that extra rook, so that's
no, this is looking very good indeed.
Okay, so time to move up. That was under 10s. Time to move up to the under 12s. And we'd expect some games to be finished, some still to be going at this stage.
Indeed. Oh, so this
is going still.
This is a very sharp little game here. Sorry, I'll just move up a little bit. This is Aidan Kennedy against Regan Minas, and this is a sharp old little game.
Opposite side castling.
Opposite side
both
castling.
Sides throwing their pawns up the board.
Indeed. So in principle, you'd expect white to be considerably better here because you've got the open G file, only a black piece in front of the king, and also the black queen in front of the king, which means that's going to be...
It helps the pawn go quicker. Like when that, say the H pawn is going, like if it goes forward, it's attacking the queen. And then the next square it's attacking the bishop, and the next square it's attacking the king. So it can make a lot of progress very quickly.
Exactly. And also having the queen in the way of the G file means when you put a rook on there and you move this bishop, it's not only the king that's behind, it's the queen that's in front. So I think this is looking very, very good. You can't really see an easy way for black to attack there. You'd really need the pawn on, or on a4 basically, I think, in order to be doing anything. So I'm afraid that one is going to that's going to end up as a win for white, I think.
You never know. That's the thing.
You never know. You never know. But that's the likely one. So Guranshveer Singh, 1865, one of the top seeds, won his game. Benjamin Carter beat William Bartlett. William, he's been on our stream before. We know William. So, the third seed winning his game there. And we've got Abhinandan Babu against Leon Keshak.
So this one looks quite blocked in general, the pawns. But black has a strong e-pawn and white a strong c-pawn. And that c-pawn could make some progress.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, in principle, you'd say that if anyone should have chances, it should be black, because his bishop has got mobility and white's doesn't. But it's not very obvious how that would work in practice, to be honest, because we've got a very nice. I mean, essentially, both sides are.
It's hard to make progress at all, though, isn't it? Yeah.
It's very hard to make progress. I mean, the only thing that you could imagine somehow would be the black king coming here.
You know, our camera woman, she's a good chess endgame player. And she can also, having a look, we're all having a look at how we'd try and make progress.
Oh, fantastic. Yes. No, it's, I mean, I think the only thing that I could really think of, the only breakthrough that you've really got, would be in general, if you put the king on here and then you move the e pawn up, force the white king to move away, and then coming here and take that.
Looks like an avenue, doesn't it?
That looks like an avenue, but
I
whether
still think it's a draw.
well, I think you're probably right. Yes, it's but maybe you really can do that.
Okay.
I mean, for example, if we go, it doesn't have that many ideas really. I mean, if you just go king g2, let's just do that. King h5, king g3.
Yeah.
And then let me just go e3. Because, yeah, if you go bishop e1, of course, then this pawn hangs. What you could do is to try and play the pawn to c6.
Yeah, because then they have to drop back. Okay, and then bishop e1.
And then bishop e1.
And then you're threatening to come across king f3.
That's right. And this doesn't work because c7 would actually work there. So I'm just wondering actually whether this would whether black has got any chances here at all. And most likely he's probably going to end up.
I think it's a draw.
Yeah, he's probably going to end up. I mean, we're going to end up taking this pawn, and black will move over and grab this pawn somehow.
Oh, yeah, okay,
but then it's still blocked.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably going to be a draw, this one. But stranger things have happened, of course.
You never know. You never know.
We've got Darian Rajkonwar against Ayan Pradhan, and it looks like black is a whole piece up there. So that is going to be pretty good. I think this pawn is going to start running.
It's funny, they've both got double G pawns, isn't it? Both the kings are kind of in a little protection from their own pawns there. I suppose how black could imagine the game is also, you've got the extra pawns, but you could also try and for some checkmate along.
Yeah, that's right.
H2.
Yeah, you've got a lot of
different ways, I think. For
a lot of different ways for black here. It's so that's looking very good for Ayan. Let's have a look. We've got Mark Levitin against Vehant Sharma. Yeah, quite a tough little position here. In principle, white should be a little bit better. Well, probably the objective evaluation is just equal, but because there's an isolated queen's pawn, you know, it's if anyone's inaccurate, if black's inaccurate, then those sort of things can turn out to be a little bit nasty. But in principle, black's well developed, so it's not terrible by any means.
So white's blocking that pawn quite effectively, although you might want it to be with the knight as opposed to the queen. So you could kind of engineer in the long term, like the knight round to say e3, f5, and come in on d4 and block.
Yeah, I mean, f5 would actually be quite a nice square for the knight, because we've got this structure again with the pawns on g7, h6, and the knight then can't be chased away because this one hangs. So I would have thought that, for example, bishop takes like this. We play knight e3. I mean, we're also attacking this pawn as well. Maybe we try and put a rook. Maybe we try and put a rook on d4, something like that. Triple up or quadruple up against the d pawn, also possible. Or just play that knight from e3 to f5 and think about some combined threats against the g7 pawn, for example. That's in principle, black's fine, but I do quite like white's position. I think black's got the thing that black's really got to do is to keep on harrying white and not let him just settle into a great position. So, for example, queen b6 is interesting, maybe attacking this pawn, maybe threatening an idea like knight e4, maybe threatening a move like d4. Just keep on giving white problems to solve. Don't let him just get his pieces to ideal squares. But that's why those positions are a bit more difficult for black. They need some precision. Gautam Shri, I'm seeing a lot of players above 1700 and all
great,
that, isn't it? Yeah. So Gautam Shuram against Adam Amithanathan. And this is looking, well, I mean, white is a pawn up, isn't he? But intuitively, you're getting rather worried because the dark squares, I guess, simply for the king. This diagonal here, yeah, the half open G file and the queen sort of lurking around these squares. So I think white's got to be very careful. I don't know whether, yeah, I guess that black is somewhat better here. I mean, there's just a lot of danger. For example, if you played the queen over to here, for example, then I could have queen e3 check and then rook h3 simply, you know, and just deliver mate in this way.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, bishop f3 played. And, you know, white's thinking about his own attack, you know, later against here. So not completely hopeless. Then black's got to decide what to do here. I mean,
Maybe double rooks. Yeah.
Rook g8 is the obvious line, because, I mean, you're also threatening rook h3 here. And then you'd follow up with, for example, just imagine if I was to go here and here, you know, black could follow up with some sort of checkmate like this.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Oops. And queen h2, you know, this typical pattern. So, yeah, I think rook hg8 is a good move. And yeah, if you go king h1, then yeah, I mean, queen h4 is again very strong. You can take the bishop, but then rook check here.
Yeah.
King g1, rook h1 checkmate, and g8, queen takes h3 checkmate. So yeah, just unpleasant for white, I think, this position. And rook g8, I think, is a good move, unless we know white manages to find some, you know, some really clever stuff. It's possible, but it's a little bit tricky. I mean, black, you could go rook e1 with white here, because this bishop on d6 is hanging, of course. So you know, you've got to be a little bit careful. The one trick you might think that black might have is to go rook takes f3. Because you're pinned, so you can't take with the pawn. And of course, queen f3 would allow queen e1. The only slight unfortunate thing for black is that after rook e7, rook c3, you think, haha, I am attacking this rook still. But actually, rook d6 then would be possible. Yeah. I mean, that would probably be, I guess that would end up, I don't know.
Oh, lots still going on, isn't there?
Yeah, but
maybe you go g4. Or...
Maybe g4, that's right, yeah. So that wouldn't be good. So rook e1 will be an interesting line there, and then we've just
they've played his rook g8's been played.
Good, yeah, I think that's a very natural move. And then rook e1 seems it's also nice to play for white, because you sort of get the king out to here as well, you know. So if you need to, you've got a bit of an escape room there. But I mean, there could be a move like queen g5 is definitely something you can think about, threatening to take on here. Definitely not silly. If takes, we take here, and well, you would hope that if there's justice in the world, that this is going to be good for black somehow. Maybe a queen g3 or something like that, or maybe you can just go rook check, and then at the very least queen e7 just to pick up the rook there. So yeah, I like this very much for black.
Hello.
Oh. Hello.
Now I'm thinking you're Mary's sister. Yes, excellent. Would you like to show your game? You're very welcome to if you want. No, not this time. That's fine. That's fine as well. You're very welcome to watch.
So yeah, this is Daniel Dupuis. It must be
Daniel Dupuis.
Must be brother of Dennis, I guess.
Yes.
And playing black against Zara Mehta. So yeah, I mean, position's pretty nice for black. I mean, it looks very harmonious, doesn't it? You've got the pawns in the center, the knights sort of covering those squares very nicely, and then one rook in the center, and probably the other rook is going to come on the half-open file, and the queen nicely placed, you know, allowing the rooks to connect. So it's very logical play, just very harmonious. White a little less so, I guess. This knight on here, for example, and white doesn't have a pawn really in the center, but nothing particularly wrong with white's position. You know, it's
b4 played.
Yeah, that's maybe a little bit weakening, but maybe also going to gain some space. You know, it's always double-edged moving pawns forwards. But I think that's the thing that you tend to do as a commentator when somebody does it. You sort of tending to criticize, you know, and all that.
That's quite nice to me. Yeah.
Yeah. That's so. Yeah, I mean, probably it's the sort of position where you feel that the black has become white. You know, black's got the advantages that white might normally have, but there's nothing particularly wrong with white's position.
Maybe shall we pop back to Mary's game just for 5 seconds?
Absolutely.
Given Mary's family's in the room, we need to see how she's doing.
Under tens, isn't it? And let's move to Mary. Yeah, very exciting game. Oh,
so when we joined it before, there was this square of knights. Yeah, let's see how it's happened since here. So Mary played bishop b5, we saw.
Yeah, so black had played the move c5, and that was a good move to attack the white center, try and put a bit of pressure on the white position. But Mary had reacted by just demonstrating the downside to that move, which was that you can put the bishop on here and annoy the rook on e8 there. So black's only got one move to avoid losing the exchange. Played the move rook f8, and we were looking at playing this move to pin the knight on here, sort of come with the bishops both sides and aim towards the pincer movement. That's the one. But instead, Mary played a very aggressive move here, queen a4, which is also a pretty good one, I think. What are you doing? You're stopping black from driving away the bishop with that pawn because you just capture it. So that means that this advanced bishop is now sort of safe in the, and that's a rather annoying piece for black. And then you're also, as we'll see in the next moves, Mary was also looking at moving her knight into the deep into the white position using this little battery along this diagonal. So it's a very interesting move. Black played the move c4.
That's an interesting move too, because it kind of blocks the bishop from coming back.
Yeah, I mean it's really provoking the crisis. I think it's really saying, okay, you've put your pieces in advanced positions like this, they're never getting back. You know, so basically, white.
So everyone's raising the stakes and raising.
Everyone's raising the stakes and making it all more thrilling. And Mary goes in for it with knight d7. So what's the idea of that? Well, actually, it's very well spotted because after takes on here, we're going to take on here, and actually that rook does not have a place to move.
No, it doesn't. I didn't notice this bishop on g3 is stopping the rook.
It's quite surprising. So this would win the exchange because the rook can't go there. Or black could maybe try and give up a pawn like that, but actually this would be just the reply. So. What black did was play the move bishop takes g3, just actually freeing the rook. So, the idea would be then that if Mary had taken back like this, then we take, and we can just play the rook over there. And, black is surviving to fight another day. But Mary then played the move, got a little tactical here, knight takes f8, little intermediate move there. And black played another intermediate move, bishop takes h2, to make sure you get the maximum for
like a desperado bishop.
A desperado bishop, that's right. So king takes and knight takes f8. Maybe I would have preferred to take with the queen there because the knight's quite on a nice square there, but knight takes f8 played. So yeah, looking at the position, what's actually happened.
How's this? Yeah.
So white is the exchange up for a pawn, which is great in general terms. Just the slight downside, so that the king's a little bit exposed, not very, but just a little. Moves like knight g4, for example. And of course, the other thing is that you spent quite a bit of time, getting that thing to be able to win the exchange. But now you've got to watch out that this bishop doesn't get trapped there.
Yeah.
So actually, Mary played a good move here, which is a move that deals with both problems. So stopping knight g4 check, keeping the king safe, and also giving some room for this bishop. Played the move queen d1.
Yep. So
queen's attacking this square now, and the bishop now is free to move away when it gets attacked by black's pawns. So knight e6 played, queen f3. Maybe I would have preferred just to move the king back, actually, just to just be safe.
First, yeah.
But queen f3 played, and now knight g5 from black, and yeah, I mean, just got now to work out what you want to do here with white. Queen's attacked.
So it's sort of interesting, isn't it? White's got, like, once we get to the end game, white's got that plus material plus exchange for a pawn. In the meantime, to achieve that, black's got a kind of temporary initiative.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
And so it depends, can white defend and hold off that initiative, get a good end game, or can black make something of this sort of temporary extra play with the knight coming in?
Exactly. I mean, I think in general, black doesn't have so many active pieces. This bishop is a little bit passive here.
By its own pawn.
So I think probably a move like queen f4 is quite interesting. You're still covering this square, and you're maybe threatened to come in here, actually just to try and force the exchange of queens.
Yeah.
Or even play, it's a little bit riskier, but to play the move knight d6 and fork these two. So I would say that that white's doing quite nicely here. Definitely an advantage for white. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be it's not going to be a quick game, I think, because white's white's generally going to need a bit of time to get the pieces into good positions. But the material advantage is important, and white's got a very nice pawn structure as well, so everything nice and flowing there. So that's another advantage. I would have said probably what I would have expected from black would be maybe just to play a move like a6 simply and start trying to roll those queenside pawns down. That's the one advantage that black has got. So it would be probably a good idea to try and make use of it. But you do have to watch out for. This is why Mary put the queen on here, to play moves like queen g3, for example, threatening knight takes h6 check with a pin. So yeah, it's a good position for white, I think. And Mary has played queen f4, which is a good move there.
Cool. Okay. We'll pop back to, is it to under 12s?
No, I think under
14s.
I think under 14s now.
Under 14. Let's have a look.
Thanks very much.
Do you have a particular game you want to see? You have. Shri, which under 12? Let's see, Shri.
Okay.
Board 22. Great. We're going to go there straight away.
Here we are. Well, this is a win, actually, I think, for black. Yeah.
Congratulations to Shri then. Let's see.
That's 1-0. So there was no way that that black. Yeah, there was no way that the white could prevent Shri from queening there. So just a very convincing win there.
What opening was it?
Let's have a look at the opening. It was a Queen's Gambit declined. Carlsbad structure as well.
So another game in the Carlsbad.
Indeed. So isolated Queen's pawn there, and very solid. Queens came off, and black's a little bit better in these types of positions because you've got the two bishops. The nice thing is they can attack colours of both squares, and whereas white's only got one bishop. We can only attack dark squares. Also, a bishop is only looking at its own pawn, which is not very impressive. And the knight can attack squares of both colors, but it can easily be driven away. From f6 to drive away the knight from e5. And if the knight were to find another square on c5, it could be driven away by b6. So basically the knight, black's minor pieces are just a lot better than white's minor pieces. And yeah, that actually happened. The knight got driven away. White gave himself a weakness there, and black's pieces came in. It was very, very well played. Grabbed the pawn on there.
Nice.
And that's
keeping those pawns blocked, isn't it?
That's right.
It's important to make sure white can't get the counterplay.
That's right. Very, very sensible play there, and just improving the position gradually. And well, we saw how it ended up there. It ended up with this position, that extra material being converted,
pawns,
and those queenside pawns just came through and queened. So excellent. Where were we? We're going to have a look at the under 14s. So we've got Siddhant Pai against Presh Gandhi.
It's all happening here. I said white's threatening rook f8 here.
It's threatening queen f8.
That's a queen f8.
My goodness. Okay, so what actually happened here? So white didn't take that piece.
Let's check, I suppose.
Well,
Should we go back 5 moves and just see how it all got there?
Okay. Oh yeah. So this is so it.
So this is a normal position.
So took. Okay. Maybe. Yeah. Always a little bit. Always irritated by taking and letting a piece come in towards you. You sort of say, make the opponent make the effort. So. For example, I might put the bishop on here, for example, and then at least I get something out of it as well. That's the thing. But anyway, takes. King moved out. Queen b4.
Attacking this rook.
Sneakily attacking the rook. And then knight e7 happened. So forking these two. And then instead of moving the rook, Black decided that he was going to play bishop e4. Knight takes rook. I do wonder whether Black actually
forgot this rook's on, please.
Yeah, because it was covered for a while, and then so that might have contributed.
Because you could just play
Well, I mean, rook c8 would actually be quite decent for Black because this bishop's a monster on here. You're threatening queen g4, even queen h3. Yeah,
looks quite nice.
It's not bad for Black, this, I don't think. But bishop g2 was quite something.
Maybe Black thinks actually if it's taken queen g4 is going to be really.
It's going to be a perpetual, I think, because we can go queen e4 check.
Okay.
Actually, it's going to be even more than that because king g1, there's bishop d4. Ooh.
Okay. Oh, so
wow.
Black has a big idea. Okay, but White sidestep. White was going. I'm not going to allow any of that.
That's right. Yeah. No, that's right. But now queen. So king g1 and now queen takes c8 played. I mean, I wonder whether you could have gone
rook takes c8.
Rook takes c8 because you're not
really off freezing the queen free to move.
You're not really depending on the rook on f8 to make all this work because we go queen g4, and here you've got the check. Here you've got check. You're not depending at all on having a rook on f8 really. So I would imagine that queen c8 is probably not the most accurate. But White, but probably it doesn't matter actually. I mean, probably once again here, this is going to be
really nice.
It's going to be nice. Although just to watch out with moves like rook f2 that you are threatening queen f8 still. So,
of course.
But I imagine that you could just take and go give a double check, for example, and that would no time for White to take that one.
Yeah.
And probably you're going to be winning this. It's always a little bit tricky when you've got pieces hanging, but it looks quite good. So White played the move rook f2 here.
Okay,
so,
interesting.
But I think now that Black could simply play a move like bishop e4, for example.
Yeah.
And just say, okay, I've got I'm coming in here. I've got plenty of attacking possibilities against the White king. It should be good compensation. That really should be. So that's a very exciting game because Shidan Pai is the top seed. So very exciting there. Now this is a tough old battle here as well. We've got Jacob Liu against Ishan Narang.
So Black's just made a pawn advance right in the center there, and that opens up actually both the Black and the White bishops on the long diagonal.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we're sort of targeting some dark squares there, and also opening up the line of this bishop. It gives White this square for the knights, which sometimes is useful, but the knights are a very long way away from that square, so it's probably not that much. I suppose the main question is whether White could play a move like c takes d4, just because there's the opposition of the queen, so you've got to be a little bit careful about that. One thing you could do, you could throw this one in and then here, I'm not sure which one, maybe take with this one. That's possible. I'm not sure that's really improved Black's position so much.
Because you could take that,
We go queen f2. I'm not sure whether I'd feel that that this has really been really good for White. So I'm not quite sure. Not quite sure what
Black could play A3.
You could throw an A3, but we'll probably go bishop back to A1. It probably doesn't make that much difference, I guess. Maybe a little, but the thing is that this bishop's a little bit passive behind this pawn.
Yeah.
So if you swap off all these lovely active pieces, you just end up with a bishop that's a little bit passive, really. So not 100% sure about that move d4. A good move in general, but just in this specific position, I'm not quite sure, but we'll see. We've got Dominic Tsarnuk against Jad Beneshak. And this is a typical sort of, you get this from many different openings. Scandinavian, for example. White's just a little bit better. You've got the two bishops, a bit more space. But okay, black's okay. And the knight's going to probably go back to f8 just to sort of be solid. And yeah, I mean, everything to play for. But it's a nice position for white in general. Lovely two bishops, and you can start moving some pawns up on the king's side, threatening to move the rooks over. It can be quite dangerous there. We've got Kamvansh and Dingra against Shrishti Shiva. Another tough little game, this one. So opposite coloured bishops. White's got, I guess, a little bit of an initiative here because
the c pawn's a bit.
The c pawn's a bit annoying, isn't it? That's right. Yeah. With White's last move, he was probably anticipating this idea, playing bishop d3 to c4. So he just played rook a3 to stop.
That's clever.
Clever.
Thinking,
That's thinking ahead like that, just to stop that. Yeah, I mean, White's probably a little bit better there, but you would have thought, normally speaking, it wouldn't be, a disaster or anything for black. But yeah, just a little bit irritating for black. But he's always got to think about that pawn and that White can, line up on it. I think it's just a lot of these positions. You don't say that they're necessarily, winning for one side or the other, but it's who has the most, who has the easiest plan, who needs to think less, really, and here it's definitely White who needs to think less. So yeah, White for choice in that one. Then, this was a Mora Gambit. It was indeed.
Was
so
it?
It's Jacob de la Cour against Charlie Pearson. So let's have a look at that opening, because that's always quite fun. You're a big fan of the Mora, aren't you?
I used to play it a lot. I used to really like it. I think I still like it, but I don't play it as much anymore.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. I mean, the engines say that it's essentially around equal, really, despite the sacrifice centre pawn. But there are plenty of ways known for black to play. Yeah, bishop c4. Actually, one of the cleanest ways probably is to play the move bishop b4.
Yeah.
Followed by knight
I don't
e7.
like it when people do that bishop b4.
Followed by knight e7.
I like it.
You just aim to take quickly and play d5, and you just freed yourself, and black ends up just a little bit better, really. Yeah. That seems to be a pretty good way of playing. This is a little bit more complicated. Rook e1, b5, bishop b3, bishop b7. What you've always got to watch out for, and it would even be playable now, is this idea of playing knight d5 simply. Because knight d5 takes. The idea is that you're threatening d6, which is actually rather awkward for black. So that's what you've really got to watch out for. White played bishop f4, and actually after rook c8, knight d5 again would be an interesting idea. Just put the knight there and leave it. And what you want to do, you want to take this bishop, and then you want to put the bishop onto d6. That's quite unpleasant, really, for White. What Jacob did was he played the move bishop d6 immediately, and then rook d1, queen c7, rook d2. And well, yeah, if the queens are getting exchanged, the most really that White can ever have is to get back his pawn, the sacrifice pawn.
I don't like it when I have to exchange my queens in the Mora Gambit. I don't like that at all.
No, and
because I want to get a lot of play on the open lines, and especially because they have to castle at some point. I like to have my queen to be able to go and harass the king.
Indeed. But so takes and knight b7. played. So Charlie is just trying to kick out those white pieces from d6, and yeah, after
Hello.
hey,
How are
hello.
you doing? Are you playing in the juniors as well?
Yeah, I'm playing in the
Are you? Do you want to show your game?
Yes.
Yes, excellent. Come, take a seat. Right, which section are you in?
I'm in the under 12.
Under 12s, yes.
Wonderful.
Show.
Let's have a look. And
There's one, yes, let's come.
are you free?
Yeah.
Ah, brilliant. We were talking to your mum.
Yes.
So board 22, that's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, let's have a look. We're going to start you off on there. Brilliant. So d4, and you played d5. The Queen's Gambit declined. You play that a lot?
Yeah. And if they play like bishop f4, I play c5 sometimes.
Oh, okay. That's brilliant. So played knight f3 there, knight f6, and yeah, white took on d5 very early there, didn't?
Yeah. I thought they were going to like keep the tension.
Yeah, that's right. Normally you play something like knight c3. Do you play bishop e7? Do you in this sort of
Yeah.
position? That's it's good. It's good to play this way because you're very solid. Got a nice center there, and yeah, just nothing can go wrong with your position.
Actually, we have a technical instruction to turn up the microphone.
Turn up the microphone. There's
That's our overall string. There's a microphone.
volume there, so if you just turn up
Press
the
it.
no, I think you twiddle it.
Okay, let's try that.
Lovely. So so it takes there,
Yeah.
and then knight c3 and bishop e7, e3. So we're just developing nicely. Oh, and then you brought the bishop out to there. That's a good idea, isn't
yeah,
it?
but it wasn't a very good idea because they played queen b3 and I just went back.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But it's a good idea in general. Putting the bishop out on that square. It's a very good square for the bishop. But yeah, queen b3 was just attacking this pawn.
Yeah. And I didn't want to play b6 and weaken the light squares.
No, that's a good thing. The only other move that you can play sometimes works is to go the knight there, because when you grab this pawn, you come here, and then you're threatening to do a little fork there. That sometimes works as well. But to be honest, the move that you played was very sensible because you know, nothing wrong. You're not weakening yourself at all, and there's no you're in no danger at all. So losing a bit of time like that isn't bad. Then c6, that's a good move just to solidify that one. So white broke in the center here with e4.
Yeah.
Were you worried a bit, or did you think it was okay for you?
I think it was fine for me, but like I think white has a bit of a better possession.
Yeah, maybe a tiny little bit, but I do quite like it. And the nice thing about taking like this, like you did, is that white gets that weak pawn there. So you've always got a nice thing to look at, don't you? So white took back with a bishop, which I don't like that much. I think normally you'd want to take with a knight, because with this pawn on the dark squares, you've got those. The light squares are weak around it, so it would be nice to keep your light squared bishop. But anyway, you took on there. You took it, got the two bishops, brought your knight there. That was a good move, just to either to go there or there, get into contact with that blockade square.
Yeah.
So knight f6, threatening with the exchange. Knight e5, you spotted the big threat there. You can't take the knight there,
Because
of course, because of checkmate. Yeah, that's right. So knight d5, just block that diagonal, so the queen no longer delivers checkmate. And after knight there, you just castled.
Yeah, I decided to just castle.
Yeah, no, I think that was a very sensible decision there, because you've got a nice position. It was good that you swapped off the queens there as well, because you know this queen's, it's annoying, right? It's attacking that one, so
Yes.
that's a very good decision to swap off the queens. Your queen's not doing anything. White's is more active, so you just take it, and there we are.
Yeah.
And you've just got a nice position. And now you managed to put the bishop on there again, and there's no queen b3 to stop the to drive it back again. Yes, I really like your position a lot here. It's and the engine says just a slight advantage for white, for black rather, but I really do like your position. I mean, you got the two bishops. This knight is not solid because you drove it away, didn't you, with
F6.
with f6
Yes.
as well. So so basically, white's going to end up just a little bit passive there. So very nice position for black. It's actually I've had a very similar position with black as well. So here white played the move rook c3, which the engine doesn't like. I think, yeah, I mean, sometimes just not doing anything is better than doing something, and I think that probably white should have just yeah, maybe move the rook here, try to get the king to the center, something quiet and sensible. Because here you reacted very well, didn't you?
Yes.
Chased the knight away. That's brilliant. And then took the pawn and then attacked it.
Yeah.
And
The c3 is a backwards pawn.
it's
So
very, very, very weak, this one, isn't it? And of course there's this one as well. You can move your rook along like that as well, attack this one.
Yeah.
So bishop d2 is the only move, because if rook there to defend the pawn, you've got this move actually, bishop a3. Just
yeah, and then the pawn is
yeah,
gone.
the pawn's gone. Yeah, the rook can't keep defending it, so got to put a bishop passive there as well. This was a good move, and this is very good with the king on f7. Just bring the king in. Just yeah, you're really in very nice control there. And after rook there, bishop there, it's very hard to defend this this a pawn.
He just blundered his a pawn. I thought he'd play a4 or something.
Yeah, I think you probably end up winning it anyway. I think, because it's a very lonely, a very lonely little guy here with just on if a5, you know, you could even just attack it straight away. There's other ways, but so I think probably the bad move was or the move that lost the pawn was to play the move rook here. If if you could have kept the rook to defend the pawn, that would have worked a bit better. But yeah, that's so g4 played. You won that pawn. Then just started gradually just moving up those. That was really nice, by the way. It's you don't need to rush them forwards. You're in no danger at all. So you're just nice and steady, just protecting everything as you move forward. I thought that was very, very good.
Thanks.
So knight e1, rook e6. I like this move as well. Take that open file. You know, your rook was here was just defending the pawn. So here you just add an extra task to it. It's still defending the pawn, but you're taking the open file as well. So knight c2. So here you played a sneaky little move. Here you played bishop d6.
But like, how is it a blunder?
Well, I think the engine doesn't like it because white could play the move knight b4, and then he's got two things attacking the pawn.
Yeah, but then I would just do bishop and 2, and then pawn and 2, and these pawns are.
Yeah, I think the engine thought that this was probably better than what white had before. But I agree, this looks still rather unpleasant for white. I think what the engine kind of wanted, he wanted this little move like this. The idea being that after knight b4, you just play a5.
And
They're saying rook e2.
Oh, rook e2 as well. Oh, yeah, rook e2 would also be very strong as well. That's just attacking this one and this one.
Yes.
Because if rook d1, then you can go bishop b3 here, you know, and
then a piece is going.
yeah, and then a piece is going. I mean, you've got lots of good ways of playing, you know, but this would be, you know, just a solid, sensible move. You just move the pawn onto a4, and then your rook's free. No longer needs to defend it. But okay, this worked out very well because he took that one, and you took that one. So, and this is winning an awful lot of material here. But you did it very nicely. You got your pieces in like that. This was a very good move. Just free up some space, and all of a sudden after that move, there's not only the E file, which white can block with that, but you've also got the G file and potentially also the H file as well to invade. And also you create a passed pawn on here. So it's always nice when you've got more pieces, you just stretch the opponent, you know, just an outside passed pawns are great for that. So these guys started rolling through. This was yeah, very sensible. Just no worries at all. Just get rid of that piece, and then you're brought your king in nicely. Yeah, that's very good as well. Distract the king on that side over there, and whilst you're coming over to here. Very nice controlled performance, Shri. It's really just white has no chances at all, and the pawn keeps on running, and white can't stop that. There's a really nice controlled performance there, Shri. That was really good. You know, just from basically beginning to end, you just neutralize what white was doing, and then just gradually, you know, move forward, picking up material on the way. So
Thanks.
really good. So that was first round. So 1 out of 1.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Good luck for the rest of the games, Shri.
Thanks.
Thanks very much.
Thanks for advising.
I'm going to make a little bit of, I would say, publicizing about this page, but it's not very obvious.
Yes.
I'm going to the Helen studio, which is on the other side.
Right.
I think all the parents know about this.
Thank you so
Hopefully
much.
have a graduate queue of
Yes.
children come to
Yes.
Oh, that's lovely.
But just
Thank
to
you.
today, by the way. But anyone who wants to come today,
just today. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right. Let's have a look. We go moving on to Kamvanch Dingra against Dingra. We've heard that name before. They're in the under 10s, I
Yes.
think, or oh no, that was the game that we've seen before. Sorry, we're this is the game that we haven't seen yet. This is James Chung against Yishinding. So the good news for white is the exchange up. The bad news is that black's got 3 pawns for it, and a rather stonking bishop on d5. So yeah, I mean, in general, I think, you know, you'd rather be black, because on top of the reason why is this bishop so strong, it's because that pawn is on f4 for white. So that means that the bishop is attacking here. So potentially black's got quite a lot of counterplay by bringing the rook in there. So yeah, I mean, white could line up and try and win this pawn on here, but whilst he's doing that, black could get his rook active and come in. So I think in general, you know, you'd really rather be black here. And I think that black will probably try and move that pawn h6 g5, you know, get rid of this pawn on f4, and then afterwards you'd even be able to eventually, once his bishop moves away, to start activating a kingside majority. So yeah, I mean, it's not I don't suppose it's lost for white yet, but it is potentially quite nasty. And if you don't watch out, actually, black will move this pawn forward to c2 and then move the bishop to e4 to protect it. So could be quite dangerous, that one.
hi Caroline, lovely to see you in the chat.
Hey, Caroline.
And she's saying well played to Shri.
It was a very good game, very nice controlled game, I have to say. Very calm and disciplined there. So very nice indeed. We've got Samuel Shah against Jasper Payne. So yeah, I mean, quite a nice position for white in general. It doesn't look so exciting, and but the one thing about it is that you know, black's got 4 pawns on the king side, but you're not. Yeah, in terms of creating passed pawns, these are not that great with the double pawns. Whereas white's got
Good defensively.
Yeah, white's got a nice queen side majority here. So essentially, if you removed if both queen and rooks got exchanged, this would be a winning pawn ending for white, with no question. You know.
Yeah, because the 3 against 2 could create a pass point that side, but there isn't anything so much happening on the other side.
Exactly. And well, I mean,
so can they remove the queens and the rooks? They can remove the queens, right?
Well, certainly looks like you can remove the queens. Yeah, the only thing, this is actually a really slightly complicated decision, this for black. So
there is a queen b6.
Yeah, I mean, the key problem is that with these 2 pieces on the 7th rank, you're attacking f7 and b7.
Yeah.
F7 in particular being the big threat. So yeah, I mean, queen takes d7, rook takes d7 feels rather unfortunate for black, because the white rooks on the 7th rank. This is what black has actually done. The only question was whether black could do something like queen c5, queen b6. Maybe defend the pawn on f7, and then after here look for a counterplay like that. That's possible, but yeah, difficult decision for Black. Black decided to take the queens off, but this rook ending should be quite pleasant for White. You know, I think you play b5 or something. I play king f2.
Maybe Black should go f5 and try and get the king out that way.
It's possible, but when you come to f6, I'll check you and sort of nestle next to these pawns. It's quite a difficult endgame for Black, this one. What have we got? We've got Otto Bartlett Davis, 1625, against Yiming Wang, 1811, and this one's looking pretty good for Black. It looks like he's just going to be a pawn up here after queen takes c4.
If you're struck, Matthew, which section are we looking at?
We're looking at the under 14s.
Under 14s.
Yeah,
Excellent.
that's right. It's so yes, queen takes c4 and then rook takes c4, and Black is a pawn up. And I think the problem also is that d3 is arriving quite soon here with this bishop, active along the diagonal. So this is looking quite difficult for White here.
I think I think that's the first player from Wales we've seen today.
Oh right.
Yes.
So then we've got Lam Ville Nguyen against Huntin Wang. So Black's pressing definitely here. Got the open C file. There's not much on that file to attack, but obviously this C file provides a way into the White position, and White's sort of solid, but somehow the pieces are not really they're not really threatening to achieve very much somehow. So really it's Black for
Probably
Black.
the C file's more interesting than the D file.
Exactly, that's right. But it's not 100% clear how Black should proceed. I wonder whether White's wondering about a sneaky rook takes e4 here. Actually, takes queen e4, which
Is that going for perpetual?
Going for perpetual, you have some sort of chance of checks. Although once the rook takes e4, the queen can come back. So you'd have thought that it would sort of be reasonably possible to cover those checks. So yeah, what Black's got to decide how to do this. Probably, I think if it was me, I'd be tempted sort of to play a move like king f6 just to get out of that, just in case.
Yeah. And then king e5 after.
Maybe. You don't want to self-mate yourself.
But get checkmate.
But maybe king f6 would be sensible. I'm not quite sure. I mean, Black can try and maybe play b5, try and maybe pin one of those pawns down, get rook c5 in. It's nothing super clear, but it does look pretty good. At some stage, maybe you're just going to try and exchange off queens, and then just claim that you can just make use of that queen side. You've just got to judge it carefully, because don't want to end up in a completely drawn position by accident. So, this looks very powerful for Vedsudeep Boganandam against David Pearl. Black's got taken that pawn on b2, but White's got those massive bishops. Yeah. And that knight does not look like it's going to particularly be surviving for very long.
So the knight is currently defending possible attacks on h6 and g7, but now g4 is forcing that knight to move away. And so I don't actually see how Black's going to stop a plan with something like queen e3, queen h6.
Well, it gets even worse than that, actually, because after knight g7, we've actually just got rook b1 trapping the queen.
Trapping the queen as well. Oh, gosh.
So it's a bit of a... I mean, that's why White played the move g4, because at the current moment, the queen could return back to d4. Yeah. But after g4, well, either if the knight stays there, it gets taken. And if it moves away, then you go rook b1. Now, the one thing that Black could try... absolutely, yes. Yeah. The one thing that Black could try is to play the move d5, which is sneaky to the ultimate degree, because you can't take on here.
Sorry? Is it?
Or maybe just sit in the audience, or that would be.
Can't hear you very well there.
Oh,
Okay. I wonder if this microphone's actually on. Yeah, it is. Doesn't seem to. Yeah, you can sit there. That's fine.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So so e takes d6 would allow queen takes f6 there. So that would be rather annoying, and but it's only for microphone for the stream. It's not for.
I see. Not for the room.
No.
Yeah.
So but here we could probably play the move g takes f5, and after d takes c4, then we'd go queen e3, and we would be getting into h6, and that would probably be completely finished. So this is looking very good for white there. All right.
That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So let's have a look. We've got the next game, which is Surya Subhash against Matthew Helsby. And yeah, this is looking very promising for black.
Black.
Got a lot of extra material there, and it's just there's I think that we probably the safest technique would be to play the move queen e4, just to exchange off the queens and
Go into a winning endgame.
go into a winning endgame.
Yeah.
Do you want me to? I can maybe just get this thing
Do you want to
working.
get that? Okay.
And do you want we
Yes.
can just swap over and you
Swap over
can
a second.
yeah, little technical break, pit stop, do the wheels there. I think that I assume that this was switched on.
Okay. And so the next game is Peter Hazel against Archie Jones. So we have another Welsh player, Archie Jones, and Peter Hazel for England. And black has got some control on the dark squares
He certainly
around
does.
the white king. And white has some pieces aiming at the black king, although only a couple of pieces aiming there. So whose go? It's white to play. And if this knight moves out the way, then there's well done, you've got it. We're gonna switcheroo back again.
I mean, this is Formula One speed, isn't it? This sort of. So yes, my goodness, what a position here. What on earth is happening?
This is like yeah. Then there's also a knight on a6. Oh, bishop takes a6. Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm.
And that allows then if the queen recaptures that bishop, we've got maybe knight f7 coming in forking.
You are absolutely
So
right, and
there's a tactic.
and if you take on f4, which kind of is what you'd like to do, really, we've got knight e6 forking here. So I've got the bad feeling that this is just not quite working out for black. Just too many forks. That's the
But
that's
if
the
you
problem.
could tempt the queen, white queen, away from the back rank somehow, if you could do that, then there's all these kind of back rank mate threats for black.
Indeed.
But white's just going to happily leave the queen there.
Yeah, and actually, you know, this bishop. Actually, you don't really want it on b2. You'd want it over here so that you can line up like this. You know, but it's just it's very hard to organize actually because you just keep on getting. You know.
Well, what about you could for black? This is going to give up material. Okay, so I'll just warn you in advance. But what about something like taking that pawn on e4, allowing the rook to go, and then dropping the bishop back? So maybe to there. And then and then we try. Oh no, we're not going to try that.
No.
You wanted me to put that queen. You were doing a trap on me. You want to put the queen there. But
It's just actually it's one of those weird positions where just everywhere you need to go, it gets forked basically.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that this is 96 has been played. So I think this is quite unfortunate. I think so. It's I think white's definitely just winning there.
White found a good tactic.
White found a good
Really
tactic there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think bishop on b2. You understand why he played it, because if you go back here, probably a little worried that at some stage e5 would happen. You get blocked behind it. But somehow this bishop on b2 is also kind of keeping the white king safe. You know, it's one of those things. Just a complicated game, right? And so this is Ambulyu against Drua Chandrasekhar, and quite interesting little position there. I think really white should be playing the move d5 here. I know it's giving up a pawn, but at least you're going to get this bishop active. If black puts the knight on d5, then it's rather, this bishop's rather sad, really. It's not happy at all. So I think activity is the most important.
Yeah.
Give up the pawn, you get the queen onto d4. You know, it's opposite color bishops. You'll be all right there. But if you don't play d5, then I think you'll probably end up in a little bit of trouble there. And we've got Samath Chawla, black, against Hal Gomez, 1815. I mean, these are good ratings, right? You're down, you know, a fair way, and you're still coming across these sort of ratings. Very impressive. So this is a bit of a wild one, isn't it? I mean, in principle, white should be doing very, very, very well. But
black set up some discovered attack.
I'm wondering whether it's really working actually. But white has just played a much better, safer move, really. Just queen g4, waiting for that knight to move away, and then you can just win this pawn on g5. So this looks very, very good for
I guess
white.
black
here.
can take. Oh no, that can't take on f5, unfortunately.
Well, black can take on f5, but
it wouldn't help.
The results will be unsatisfactory, of course, because powerfully protected by that bishop on c2. Then we've got Rachel Yang against Heath Grimman. Very unusual position, this one. White's got the two bishops, but yeah, not a very nice queenside structure, and black's got this very nice queenside structure. So black's doing quite nicely. I mean, one idea actually for black could even be just to play the move bishop f4, get rid of those two bishops, and just leave black then with you know, the two bishops are kind of white's compensation for the poor pawn structure. If you get rid of that advantage, you just leave black with a good pawn structure. So it's probably just a slight advantage for black, this one. We've got Thomas Moran, 1793, against Hugo Eru. Tough game. White is a pawn up. But yeah, this bishop on h2 is a little bit, well, it's not a great advertisement for dark squared bishops. And yeah, I mean, black's got some activity there. But I suppose, yeah, I'm not quite sure how white would play that. I mean, you're sort of thinking, you know, play f3, king f1, bishop here, get yourself organized like that, and then start playing afterwards. But knight c5, I mean, could also be dangerous straight away. It's always a little bit of the question, right? How concretely do you play, you know? And I guess black will maybe play bishop f5 here, you know, and try and
swap off that bishop and
yeah, and then you get
leave white with the bishop that's trapped in.
That's right, and then you're also attacking the d4 pawn. I think that's why I'd kind of prefer to play, you know, to play f3 and then just make that happen, so that, you know, when black just exchanges off the bishops, then you know, at least you're doing that. I mean, maybe you can move like king f1. Or go watch out for f3. Not easy. I mean, it's I think black's definitely got compensation for the pawn, some compensation. White should be better, but yeah. A bad piece, you know, that means that there's some compensation for the white extra pawn. We've got Toby Blankley against Samid Saxena. Got a very typical rook ending here. So, but there's only one pawn. There's only two pawns. It's actually equal material.
Rook and 3 against.
Yeah, this is just
a
draw. Yeah, it should be a draw. But always interesting, right? It's I mean, probably you sort of say if anyone's got winning chances, it's black, really, because you know, you put the rook behind here, and then this one is essentially not really a menace. And then afterwards, you can maybe try and start advancing your kingside pawns, you know, and try and somehow exploit the position of the king. But of course, it should be a draw.
Even if it was like rook and 3 against rook and 2.
That would be drawn. Yeah,
That would be drawn anyway. So yeah, okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's not really about winning this pawn that gives you winning chances. It would be more about exploiting these weaknesses by generally moving your pawn forward, and But in principle, this should just be a draw. Oh, what is this? We've got Maximilian King against Shreyas Pasupuletti.
So black has the extra bishop, so that should in general be good.
Yeah.
But that B pawn is well up the board.
It's a little bit. It's a tiny little bit concerning, this position.
Okay.
No, I mean, black is obviously a lot better, but it's quite interesting somehow.
How would you do it? Yeah, I'm imagining black brings. My first idea was bringing the king in for black.
Yeah, I mean, if you go king there, I'll go king here, and after king e8, I will probably just play king c6. I think that's probably the best. I mean, in all fairness, there's even stuff like even rook c7 there, even if and after bishop takes, king takes, it's not necessarily so bad for white this. So
although, yeah, the white king's further away from the pawns.
Indeed, but just imagine.
But you can't get
imagine I played a move like here,
yeah.
And then I went rook c7, takes. Then you've got to take there, for example, and then I take there, and then I come e5, and you can't get round. So
yeah.
So yeah, this is a very interesting position. I'm.
So okay, you could move the bishop, let's say.
Well, you don't have to for the moment. I'm just saying h4, for example. Yeah. But then with white, let's just play the move like e5. Just get that one in, so that you can't, if anything happens, you can't get around. And I don't know really. I mean, I'm really wondering whether you're really going to manage to.
Could you go bishop to g1?
So I'll go rook here.
You're threatening something. So king, yeah.
I'll go rook there.
I'm
threatening that. It's quite tough. This
it's
it's quite tough somehow. I'm not very sure about an actual way.
What's set up to even aim for? Yeah.
Not even to aim for. Yeah, I don't know. It's very, very difficult. So yeah, very unusual position. But I think white's probably doing okay here. Let's move on to the under 16s. Finally.
And Max Burt, a name we know very well.
Son of Richard.
Yes, and he's playing, I think he's playing this, and I think he's playing in the afternoon.
He did it last year, didn't he? He played he played both he played in the morning, he played the junior, and in the afternoon he played the championship. I don't know.
By the end of the week he'll be tired.
I don't know how these guys find the energy, but yeah. And we're going to see lots of them who are doing this same thing. So this one time against David James Warimwe. And this is looking, in principle, you would have thought, I'm assuming should be very promising for white, as long as the tactics work. Material is equal for the moment, but we've got a big threat of knight takes c6 with just lots of forks. But white has just played castles, and black can take this bishop on e2, and there are a few little tactics around. So. Well, let's dive in. Let's have a look. I'm guessing knight takes c6 is the one that we want to do. So I think we want to take that one. Takes, and then
queen d7.
Yeah. Well, the problem with that is that I chop a Rooney here, and after here I
go dear,
rook c8 check. So
tricky.
Yeah, that's a bit tricky. So and that back rank is a real annoyance because there are a few things where you could say, oh, I could sort of make some sort of attack. And there's quite a few pieces attacking here. But you go knight b8, and then you're threatening queen e8. And I don't think that well, I mean, you can consider it, h5, queen e8 check, king h7. But
you've given up a whole rook.
given up a whole rook, but rook f2 is quite a threat there.
Okay.
Let's have a look. Knight d7. We'll just have a vague idea, because I'm threatening rook g2 check straight away. So it's an immediate threat here. But we are going to go. Knight f8, king h6. I'm not sure about that at all. So, okay, let's just say. So we're saying queen h4.
Maybe black literally can just ignore all the threats on
that would be
all of their pieces.
So okay, if we go, we'll go rook c8 here and here, for example. That's another possibility. But I go rook f2, and I don't think there's anything. I don't think you've got anything particularly convincing here.
Looks like you've got a lot of army lined up.
You've got a lot of army lined up, but you get to here, and then I just go rook g2. I'm sort of assuming that this is going to be even winning in some way for black. At the very least, it's a perpetual.
Sure.
So I am actually wondering about this, because this does look quite. I mean, the white knight. That's the problem, right? You're.
So what if white does the other approach and doesn't go in and just kind of tries to defend over here?
Yeah, I mean, a move like rook c2 is possible. We've got some discovered attacks.
We do.
But are they good enough? I mean,
so like rook takes rook.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually wondering about playing bishop h3 here simply.
Okay, rook takes rook.
And bishop takes here.
King takes.
Check.
King somewhere.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, black's got a draw at least, and the only question is whether this might even offer some vague chances. Just because of queen d1, there's knight f2 check. That's the only reason I'm saying that. But I mean, black's got a perpetual there at least. So.
Gosh. So
I kind of suspect that this is okay for black. I mean, of course, it's what would Jules say? What would Julian Hodgson say?
4
1,
attacking.
2, 3, 4 against 1. So, it's a lot of material, actually, a lot of dangerously placed material. So I do suspect that would actually be, that would have a really good chance of working for black. And I don't know whether there's anything else. I mean, you could even. I was actually, thinking as well. You could even start with that one.
Yeah.
Simply, and then the idea being that if you take on there, I go to g5, for example.
Threatening mate already.
Threatening mate already, but I don't know whether there's bishop f3, for example, and then I don't know whether you've got. I mean, there's stuff like knight f2. There's a lot of dangerous stuff here, and but I mean, there's a lot to calculate here simply, and maybe this one's going to be too much simply, but I think there's definitely a lot of danger there. Oh, he's played queen g5 in this position.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, this is a very interesting line as well. So I mean, I mean, probably the big threat that black does actually have on top is that if you play a move like bishop f3 here, for example, then knight f2 is actually quite an interesting move, because after rook f2, I play queen takes c3, and if you play rook f1, which I think is more or less the only line, and
the other rook comes in.
Rook b1, then you've got queen f2 after.
Yeah.
So that's actually very, very dangerous indeed. So I was thinking that white could maybe play bishop g4, but actually, knight f2 still might be possible here. So I don't. Yeah,
interesting.
This is really interesting. I mean, Mac's obviously extremely strong.
Yeah.
But I mean, his opponent is 1832, right?
Yep.
It's quite a tough first round game there, really. So, yeah, very interesting. We'll see what happens there. We've got Emil Steiner's very strong junior as well, 21-15 against Mac Holland, and yeah,
White, and it's 3 pawns. Black's got 3 and white's got 4.
Yeah.
Black's got this passed B
Big
pawn.
big pass pawn on b2, but it's going to be very hard to push that one through. And white's going to be able to play rook a3, a5, a6. So I mean, black will sort of can look to immobilize the rook like that. So it's a bit of a weird situation where the rook's totally mobilized, but are you going to be able to deal with rook, pawn, pass pawn, and knight, and possibly a little bit the king as well? Very unclear. I would have thought that white would be fine in this position, but
Fine as in drawing or winning.
maybe a little better actually.
Yeah.
And not. But it's a very unclear position. Oh, that's rather painful. So Peng Xiaozhu looks like he's going to win his game there with a lovely little skewer back of the queen, and just remaining the exchange up. Or just the exchange up, actually. So it's
Exchange for a pawn, because there is still that pawn on.
yeah, actually, that's not.
So it's not completely.
No.
It's not completely easy.
I didn't. I miscounted the pieces there, but this is. We'll need a little bit of precision. I mean, that pawn goes quite quickly. The knight comes here. The pawn comes to h3. And should be in principle should be good for white. I guess you've got to try and bring your king over to here to protect this pawn, and then this knight can move away. Either to defend or to counterattack against this pawn. But that's going to take a fair amount of time. So, yeah, very sharp. George Zhao.
Okay.
So he...
teammate of mine for the...
Indeed.
Barbican.
And he drew with Badana
Drew with Badana
yesterday
afternoon. So
in the
he's
championship.
He's playing both.
He's playing both as well. So he had a nice 80 queen's pawn against Badana as well. So... having a bit of a theme tournament there. So he's no, he's not a pawn up. It's just equal material. Tough position against Theodore Kyra. Yeah, black's actually very active, and white's position has had to weaken itself a little bit. Probably f3 to stop a knight coming into e4. But long term, white's got that isolated queen's pawn that you can sort of say that's a weakness, and his pieces are quite nicely organized. So I mean, normally speaking, I think you'd expect queen d7 from black here, just to get a queen out of attack, and no, it just keeps everything protected, keeps in touch with lots of possibilities and squares. Also protects the king side a little bit, and black will decide what to do. There might be a knight a4 at some stage. You might maybe decide to take on here at some stage with maybe a knight e6 afterwards. But in principle, the position's equal, but tough game ahead. We've got Arav Ajay Kumar against Cameron Grosser, 2010.
Yeah, didn't he win the Pro Biz with Mickey one year? If I'm my memory's not perfect these days, but I have a feeling he's done that. Played very well there.
Yeah, he's a pawn up here, and principal a very nice position. These pawns are very nice. They're not that far away from running forwards, and of course this knight's rather offside. I mean, it might not get caught, but it's going to take a very long time to get back. And you could imagine the black king moving in here, the white rook moving in here, maybe with an f3, and then invading in here. You can imagine the bishop coming here, maybe combining with a rook that enters into g2 and attacks f2.
So you're liking black?
I'm liking black. Yeah, this is a very good position for black. We've got Ukele against Dairia Pandya. Yeah, this is well, yeah.
Tell you one, black doesn't have very much time left.
Ooh, that's
30
true.
seconds left. Because it's quite nerve-wracking, isn't it? If you have to keep playing moves just within the 30 seconds. I guess they're getting 30 seconds increment. it sort of builds up the nervousness.
The
can build
nervousness
up.
builds up. No, that's right. That's definitely true. It's a little bit awkward for black. I think white's going to play the move rook c8 and attack this pawn. And unfortunately, you'd really want to take this pawn and say, okay, if you take that one, maybe I take this one, right? And if you take this one, I take this one. You know, this sort of thing is what you would probably be your best scenario. The problem is after rook c8, rook takes here. We go rook e1, and this bishop on e8 is gone.
Yes.
So that's not good. So that means that after rook c8,
Probably should move your king.
yeah, but then I'm going to take this one with check.
Yeah.
And probably come round here. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Bishop a4 maybe, and then the question is whether we can do something sneaky and clever.
So black's threatening the pawn on c2, and by putting the bishop there, that would defend the pawn on g6.
Yeah, that's rather
It's
annoying.
not a bad thing to aim at.
I mean, we're also threatening bishop c6 to e4, which is a very nice consolidating move, really. You know, so yeah, not clear. Oh, f5 has been played.
Ah,
A very interesting idea.
interesting.
So
Trying to get the king in.
yeah, so if rook f6, we're still going rook e1.
Yeah.
Takes and then king there, and we're just going to win a piece. And if you go,
Pawn takes.
if you were to go pawn takes, I imagine that rook g7 was the idea. Rook f6, rook c7, and that's rather unpleasant.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
So white's doing this well.
white's doing this well, actually. That was a good move. Rook d6 played by black.
It also looks sensible to me.
Yeah, I wonder whether we might just go.
c8 maybe.
I mean, we could take and go rook d1, for example.
Okay, and the
crazy.
can't defend the d pawn.
Take and take, but
Yep.
a lot of pawns getting exchanged. But I think the nice lines in this sort of thing is when the black king remains on the back rank. That just gives you lots of, you know, even if a pair of rooks gets exchanged, then you know your king comes
It's
in.
nice for white.
Yeah. That's what really makes a difference there. So Ivan Punchon against Amirali Nematolai. Oh, looks like a very nice position for black. I think black is a pawn down, true, but two bishops, real control of the light squares, and white's pawn chain on the dark squares, and some pressure on the F file. So I do like white's position, black's position a lot. I'd probably.
So the immediate threat. Oh, you wouldn't go bishop takes f3.
No. Keep the dark side. I'd probably look to do something like this, maybe here, and then I've got a passed queenside pawn. You don't even really notice that you're a pawn down simply, but you can also put the queen to g6 as well. Might be one. Maybe I'd like to start with queen g6, threatening bishop f3, for example, because actually it's kind of hard to to sort of work out how white's going to deal with that. And maybe you've got to play something like knight e1, but that's not great. I mean, I just played b5, and I've got a lot of
tricky.
There's a lot of danger here, and we're just going to do this, get the pawns rolling. I think black's got a clear advantage, to be honest, despite the pawn minus. It's very, very nice indeed. Yuan Ding against Matthew Grimley. Ooh, well, black's going to be grimly defending this. Hey! Yeah, no, it's
He's probably never heard that one before.
I don't imagine he's ever come across that pearl of wisdom. So yeah, it's just this is a really unpleasant isolated queen's pawn position, because one weakness is never enough to lose, but two weaknesses is rather unpleasant, and I don't think that black particularly can target this pawn, and meanwhile white's got a lot of possibilities to do that one. And then probably your goal is to play a move like f3, get your king in, and then you're probably even going to, whilst keeping black's pieces passive on these, you're going to advance your kingside pawn to try and create another weakness over there. At some stage this knight's going to move away, your king is going to come to d4, maybe looking to go to c5. It's very unpleasant, this, for black, it really is. So We've got Yuhading against James Ratcliffe. Oh, this is an interesting position. White's very solidly entrenched on those central dark squares. So that's very, very pleasant. But black's got, slightly unusual counterplay. I mean, this knight can come into b3. This b pawn is rather pinned down. So there's some counterplay for black.
It's still at quite an early stage of the game, isn't it? Move 24.
Yeah, but the time left
they're
is
on time, so
yeah.
they'll have to start thinking.
There's
about
been a lot of
thinking to
there.
get here.
Yeah.
Well, it's a sort of unusual position, so I can imagine they would have
It's, so there we are. That was the we've now gone through
14, so we've done
all of
everybody.
them. Let's have a look at the
See if
under
there's
8s.
any under 8s still going.
I
Maybe
don't
they're
think.
finished.
I think all the under 8s will be
finished.
finished.
Says round 1 finished.
That's why we did
That's why
that.
we started.
Let's go round to the under 10s then. A few there still going, I think.
Yes.
Not very many though.
We can click that playing button, and then we'll just get the ones.
Well,
Clever, huh?
so we've got 1e4, which proved to be too much.
Yeah.
We've got Mason So against Emma Medea Kujokaru. Actually, this is very similar to Shree's game that we looked at. A bit better for white than that, but in principle, white's just going to have problems there. We've got the 2 bishops, lovely passed a pawn, and this one's difficult to hold. I mean, we can start looking at moves like bishop a3 or bishop h6 to knock away this rook from the defense. So there's also a threat of just bishop b4, actually, just exploiting the pin on the rook. So I think that in principle, black stands very, very nicely here. And we've got, this one's interesting. Lubava Maksak against Yafang Chen. So white's actually managed to pick up 2 pawns. My goodness. Just grabbed a couple of pawns on the queen side, but black's got a little bit of an attack here.
Oh, yeah, black's brought the queen in just now as we speak.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only question is can white just play something like g4 and block it? And I rather fear he can. Okay. And then I don't think that black's going to be able to do very much at all, really. If you go h3, I simply go bishop f3. I don't take it, and then it's just 2 pawns, and black's got no kingside attack whatsoever.
Yeah, that g4 move. It doesn't look that natural necessarily, but it just blocks it all up.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I mean, you could. It's not impossible to play bishop h3, for example, because after takes you go fg.
Oh, and you can't take again.
No. Yeah. And then you'll go bishop e6, but h2 might get dangerous at some stage. I mean, the rooks could transfer over, and then you do something. But I think g4, frankly, is just a silent killer, really.
Gosh.
Right, let's go for the under 12. See what's still going on there. Not that many
games still going on. Not so many.
Oh, pawn end game here.
Okay, we should be able to work this out then. Pawn endings.
Oh, really is?
Yeah.
They're not that easy. Actually, black's doing really well here, because white doesn't have any tempo moves, so white's going to have to retreat, and black's got a number of moves, tempo moves. So normally speaking, it's absolutely clear that the black is the one with the big initiative, and it's probably likely that he's winning.
White to play now will have to move the king.
Yeah,
really.
so you'll go back to d2, I think.
King c4.
And then king c2. Now, you got to decide, it probably doesn't matter too much how you do it. You can play the move b5. Oh, maybe it does matter how you do it.
So king d2.
Yeah, there's another possibility of b3 here, which is why you might want to be careful about how you do it, because and then the big question is, obviously, if you retreat there, then white should be fine, and the key question is whether this is any good. But in principle, I guess that
you have to be careful doing this way.
You've got to be careful how you do this. So, but let's just assume king d2. It's just. So if you go king b3, then I go king c1, and actually you don't achieve anything there at all. What you need to do is to go play the move d4, and then, well, we've got a choice actually. If we go king c2, then I guess I'm going d3, king d2 and king b3, and this is just gonna work basically. King d3, king b2. I'm too far in advance there, I guess. c4. I'm just wondering whether I can just go, rather than the adventure of having my king blocked in the corner.
Because that's only a draw.
Yeah. Whether I could go the move b4. This was the idea.
B4 takes.
a3.
Black's quick.
Black's quick, yeah. Black's very quick. So, I mean, after b4, I could go c5, for example. But, you know, in principle, this is just going to be...
So black queens first, white queens.
Yeah. I don't know, I go queen d1, I guess. I mean, a3. I must be winning this. Yeah, okay. It's just a very good endgame, this. So that's good. But okay, I should then take on d4. Sorry. I should take on d4 takes. And then if I go king c2, then king e3 must be winning for black. So I should go to e2.
Okay. And then,
so king c4, king d2.
It's not easy, is it? King b3, king c1.
Yeah, no, I mean, what I need to do is, I don't know what the most accurate move order is, but what I need to do, if I'm going to win this, is to do this. And then somehow, you need to play a3, and then that clears the pawn. But what you really want is a c pawn to be able to play c3. And then when you take your king's capturing towards there. The problem is that after a3, the king will, it's only white's king in actual fact that has a good path. So I'm actually wondering about this, whether
maybe it's only a draw.
Maybe it's only a draw, unless I'm because I mean, if you go d4, then I go king d3. You know, that's and then I'm keeping you further back. So I'm actually wondering whether this might just be a draw, actually. King and pawn endings are tricky, but I think this might actually be a draw.
Because black's pawn structure isn't actually better, it's just that the black king
it's the king,
is more active.
No, it's the king.
So you can't just waste some time, go back with your king and come back in and hope for anything good to happen.
No.
It's like you have to make the most of the...
of your initiative, basically, yeah. Let's have a look. We've got Zarametta against Daniel Dupuis. Looks very good for black here. I think f4 is coming in simply, and you've basically got all the advantages that you really could ever dream of. You've got them there. Yeah, knight d1. I mean, as always, it's always. As a commentator, you sort of you say something like that, but of course, in the actual game, you've got to finish it off, which is always more tricky. But I mean, I think maybe you just go rook d5 simply and start thinking about, well, let me just win that h pawn, or you could play a move maybe like rook c6, and we're just going to think about doing something like this. These sort of things will be very, very powerful. Carolus Tang, this is should be winning for white.
White with the extra knight.
Yeah, although actually, well, that knight's. I mean, that's knight's very short range, so it's doing a stunning job of covering the pawn and stopping the black king from invading.
Yeah,
but yeah, it can't actually do anything.
So all right, so. Might you go king f3? King e5, say. Knight a3. You're just gonna you're not gonna do anything.
Are you just gonna sit there?
Yeah, right. All right, knight back to b5 again then.
Demonstrating.
We'll do the move that Carolus Tang actually played. Knight c3. Well, I'm not going to go knight e2 because you're just going to go and queen your a pawn, and that wouldn't be what I want as white.
I mean, now it's potentially getting even a little bit worrying, right?
Yeah.
Because I could just sort of at some stage head
But this
for the
is the
hills.
actual position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what you could do in this position is the unbelievably sneaky king g4.
Okay. So you're hoping for king d4, knight b5, and picking up the a pawn.
Exactement.
That's your plan.
But actually, there's
But
not.
even then, right? Oh, well, the knight should slow down those 2 pawns a bit.
Yeah, I mean, this is something, but I think we go, we can maybe go king b3 here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Not clear this one here, because you can always wait and play knight d4. Maybe this is quite cunning.
White would win that one.
Yeah, maybe this is quite cunning. Knight c3, a3.
Hello. Hello.
King d3. Hey, hello. King d3 is quite, it was played, but I'm not sure about that one because
It's a tricky end game. People
Indeed.
have just come in the room. It's a knight and a couple of pawns against 4 pawns.
Indeed. So, yeah, king d3 will go king f5. And now I think White's maybe thinking about playing the king to c2. So dealing with that one with the king, and then he's going to fight against the f pawn with
You'd have to make sure you don't lose your g pawn.
Well, I mean, the point is that when you go king g4, we'll go knight d5, and then you win my g pawn, I'll win your f pawn. There's nothing much you can do about that. So maybe this is actually quite clean. Actually, Black's played the move king e5, which is actually probably very sensible. The idea being that if king c2, we're going to go king d4. That's what he wants to do to attack this one.
King b3.
King b3, and then this is where it gets interesting, because what we could maybe do is obviously king e3. We get the same knight d5, which will be good for Black. What we could do for White rather. One idea would be to go a2. Where you say, okay, I'm going to move that knight over on the side, and then I'm going to head for the hills here.
Mm-hmm.
However, you're never quick enough because, annoyingly enough, White always gets knight d5 in. And then when you take that pawn, I take this one, and then I come back and oops, and I'm just winning it. So I'm wondering.
Where are they up to now?
King c2.
Okay.
So I'm actually wondering. So the only other thing you could maybe think about is to play a move like king d3. We're just waiting for that. So knight d5, and then
a2, and then take
a2
c4.
takes and here.
Yeah.
So normally speaking, you would expect this to be good for White, to be winning for White, but it is quite yeah.
So if Black brings the king back over, say king d4,
yeah,
White just goes g4 and wins.
well, I'm vaguely wondering about this because, for example, g4, king e5, g5, king f5. I just wait.
g6.
Yeah, g6. I go king f6. I mean, we can put it in various ways. I don't quite know what the best setup would be, but here I come here.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I mean, just imagine.
Well, White can't just wait with the king because Black will just wait.
Yeah, I mean, the question is whether. I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? I mean, White gets the pawns, Black gets the pawns up to a certain way. Maybe b4 would be the best, further away from the knight, you know, so that. And then the only way that it would really work for, well, I mean, here you just advance again. So I'm wondering whether this is really, this is maybe actually just if king b3, which I think is forced.
So king b3, king
d3. Just to, and then, so knight a2, then we go round to e2. And if you take on there, I'm coming here. And this is rather,
Yeah.
This could be rather upsetting. I mean, yeah, takes. We could go king a4, f3, then I go knight e4. And then the question is this a study? Well, it is. It's kind of is, right? Because we take, king b5, king e3 takes, king d4, king b5.
Yeah.
No, I can't attack from behind
behind.
because he takes my pawn on c5.
Oh golly! So white just makes it.
White just makes it, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be totally confident that I've got this right. But I mean, after knight a2, I don't head for the hills. I just go king d4, and then you've got. It's not going to be very easy for you. But what I could do subtly is to play the move knight c1.
Aiming for knight e2.
Yeah, and I'm stopping you from going king d3 now.
Okay.
So I go king
a2.
Well, if I go a2, I just take back.
Sit with the knight.
Just take with the knight there. It's the same line as before. So, and then if I go king e3, then I just go king a3. And when, oh, it's brilliant. If I go king f2, then there's knight d3. That's great. So what I could try is to play the move king d2.
Okay.
Because if knight b3, then I go king c3. Haha. But I've got a move, for example, like king b2, and that knight on c1 is stopping you from getting back. So it's quite intricate, this ending, I have to say. But I think king d3, knight a2.
Well, white has the whole of nearly 8 minutes to think about.
Easy. Just yeah, I mean, they often don't. The one thing that people often say, "Oh, you just got to calculate stuff, and you've got enough time." But the thing that nobody ever factors into it is that you've got to recheck it about 5 times. Counting and all that. That's it's never the original line that takes all the time. He's playing king d3 black, so both players are playing this pretty well.
Because this is what, under 12s.
Yeah,
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good, this. So I mean, I'm moving the pieces on the board, so yeah, this is actually quite. I mean, this was the closest line, I think. This move king d4 knight c1 is really very, very sneaky there. I mean, there is something else that black can do, which is I could go king d2.
Okay.
And after king a3, I could go king c2.
Oh, and try and fence in the white king. But they can go king a4.
Yeah, that's just going to be winning for white.
Give up the knight.
Curses. Yeah, that would have been really nice, but it doesn't quite work. So yeah, I'm starting to suspect that this is actually just winning for. This move knight c1, very unpleasant to just.
And has that been played? Where are we up to?
I think he's played king d3. So now what we think knight a2 is the star move. That's what we think. Grandmaster move. Do we dare switch on the engine just to?
Yeah, go on. White win.
Yay! Oh, knight a4 even, actually. Oh my goodness, even stronger. Why
And with the other lines winning.
Oh God, look at, well, that's, yeah, we'll have a look. The idea of is a2, we go knight b2 check and cover the pawn on c4. And the lovely thing about knight b2 is that it's getting into contact with d3. So after king e3, I go king there, king f2, and then knight d3. Oh, a little arabesque there. How about knight a2? Ah, winning as well. Yes.
Knight a2, and that was the move that was actually played.
Is that played as well?
That's
Yeah,
been
that's been
played.
played. Yeah, knight a4 is quite exceptional, really. It just feels so, you feel like the pawn's moving, but yeah.
Doesn't seem like the right direction.
It seems wrong, yeah. Knight a2. This is really impressive, I have to say, because this is quite complicated. I would not be absolutely confident of solving that by myself. You had the chance there to demur, Natasha, but
oh, sorry.
but no, yeah, all right, just yeah, no, you wouldn't solve that. So this game we saw before, and we said that it was this opposite coloured bishop position where you said it wasn't terrible for black, but it was just you know, white had the easy plan, and actually white's just got pretty much everything he could desire here. Put the bishop on c5, very nice, tying down that pawn. Tripled now on here, and I think if black does not do it react, I think white will play the pawn to a6 and just make that one basically tied down for forever. So so that'll be a second weakness, you know, next to this one. And I mean, actually, white's also, you know, looking to play g4 and h5 and just squeeze the black position there. So very impressive game from white, actually. Very nice positional play. And yeah, black just really suffering here. It's, I think, yeah, I guess you should probably play a6. You shouldn't reallow, but it's not pleasant, really, you know. b7. I'm not sure about that one. I think I'd probably want to play a6 in that position. I mean, you could play rook b5, but then I go, you know, rook e3 or something like that, or even maybe just rook e7 in this position. Oh, got the engine on. Switch it off, because if queen a6, I go rook e7 or even rook g7 and queen here, which would be dangerous. So I think this position's just gone for black, basically. It's been very nice squeeze, very, very impressive.
Yeah, because that's the one. Well, that's one where he's gone H and A pawns.
Yeah, no, we had a few of those, haven't we? Where we've been throwing forward our. Oh, did Mary? By the way, we were looking at Mary Cowdery's game.
How did it go? Let's see.
She's in the under 12s.
Yeah.
Because we told her mother that
She was doing good.
that she was doing very well. So we
She was exchange up for a
yeah.
pawn.
So we do hope that we were correct in that. Where is Mary? Is it under 12s or under 10s?
I thought under 12.
Let me just because I thought she was around board 8.
The sister was under 10.
Oh no, there we are.
Sorry.
Oh, it's a
you're
draw.
right, you're right.
It was a draw. So we'll just show the position how it was. It was queen f4. She was.
Hello.
And queen c7. Hello.
How have you done? And do you want to show off your game? Yes.
Show off.
Come in.
Excellent.
Here we
Let's
go.
let's
Take
have a
a
look
seat.
then.
So, what are you, under
110.
10?
Under
Lovely.
10.
Okay.
And which board were you on about?
Board 15.
Oh, 15. Brilliant. You're Trisha.
Yeah.
Great. Let's have a look then. Dun, dun,
Is
dun.
that the final position?
Oh, my goodness me. That's pretty cool. Let's have a look. I've never seen that. I've never seen that before. Right. So e4. Excellent. You always play e4?
Yeah.
That's good. Bishop's opening. Brilliant. Oh, that's aggressive. d4. Do you play that a lot?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. This is very scary. Knight f3, knight takes e4, and castles. Yeah, I think normally they normally take first on here, just to attack the knight and to stop black from playing here. But yeah, this is very aggressive line, sacrificing two pawns in the opening already. So d5 and then queen takes d4. So she decided that she was going to take your bishop, and you played check there. So have you had this position before, or is this a new one for you, this one?
It's a new one.
Okay. It's bishop e6. And you played the rook to there. That's a good, oops, sorry. That's a good move, just bringing the rook to the open file there.
Mm.
And she went knight c6 and queen c4. Great, so you got all your pawns back and you're a bit ahead in development. Were you happy at this stage?
Yeah.
You like the position?
Yeah.
That's good. So black tried to castle, and then you attacked something, didn't you?
Yeah.
Like queen b5, attacking the pawn on b7. So rook was played to defend the pawn, and then you carried on developing. Oh, I see the position that we got to. We looked at this game. We looked at your game as well. So it was a very interesting one. So knight there and bishop there. All right. So here you played the move. Ooh, queen e2. So defending the knight. You got a little pinned, didn't you?
Yeah.
Knight here. Oh, but I'm wondering actually, did you look at all at, could you have played that move?
Yeah.
So, because you're opening up an attack on there, and you're also attacking the rook on b8.
Yeah.
That might have been an interesting little move as well, because the rook moved to b8 when you attack the pawn on there. So it's just something you've got there. But this was probably a good move too. Bishop f4. So got double pawns. Were you worried about that?
No.
You weren't worried? No, good. So bishop e6 and rook d1 and bishop d6. So yeah, you took on there. Actually, this is the position that we saw. I just wonder actually whether you might have been able to play a move like knight here, just to line up on that one, because just the slight difference is that just say black plays a move, it doesn't matter like that. Then you could take with a knight on here, and then actually fork those two with your bishop.
Yeah, I thought about it though. Like I thought about knight e4, then queen h4.
Queen h4, no, that's a very good idea, because if I take with the knight, you're going to
Take the bishop.
take the bishop. Very good, excellent. Yeah, no, that's definitely true. So so you took on takes there and played knight e4. So attacking that pawn. So you've got a slight weakness of these, but he's got a weakness there, so that's pretty good. So d5, king h1, queen a5, knight g3, all pretty unclear, all this. But that knight's sort of looking towards there, aren't you?
Yeah.
Or you're looking for the g file, aren't you? Yeah, I can see it. Rook g1. Look at that. So lining up on it with because you've got this move, you've got that move, got quite dangerous all of a sudden. And the queen out on here, not really helping with the defense of the king. So he tried to do something sneaky, didn't he? He tried to play bishop there. And that would work, but you've got one really good move. You just get out of the way, and you're still protecting the pawn. That's really good. So he's got nothing else better than to move the bishop back.
And then knight h4.
Knight h5, that's right. And all of a sudden, this is horrible, isn't it? This one's attacked. And if he plays there...
And there's a fork.
There's a fork, that's right. Knight f6 check. Or even actually, knight f6 is very good, but you could even play a queen there and threaten queen g7 check as well. So it looks very, very strong. So black... yeah, that wasn't the best move, but yeah, it was obviously already very difficult. You took his rook. And this is a good move, queen d4. I like that move. You win material, offer the exchange of queens. So that's very good. Oh, this was also very nice. You gave the sneaky little check just here, just coming from the other way. And he's got a self-pin himself, which is not great. And then you played rook there, stopping him from there. Queen there. Rook g3. You're confident here, weren't you? You thought this was very good. Yes, you've done it really nicely, actually, because he's just got all of his pieces pinned and tied up, and you've also protected your king side very nicely. So that's worked very well. So king there. And queen d6. I like that move very much. Engine says it's not absolutely the best, but it's a brilliant move. Just getting, just creeping forwards and just giving him lots of things to be worried about there. So queen b1, you went rook g1, just hitting the queen with tempo, and you're threatening. I mean, if the queen moves away, right?
Yeah.
You've just got rook. Yeah, you just got rook g8 check, just winning. So excellent. So rook d7, and then dun, 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 queen takes d7 check. Brilliant. Little, and then pick it up. And then we'll get to see that lovely mate that we saw at the end. Give a check. Give a check. King has to move forward. Check. Bishop. Oh, and then there with everything on the F file. That was really nice. Very nice game. Very nice game, Fisher. Really good. That was really good. Brilliant. Well played.
Thanks.
And good luck for all of the rest of the games.
Yeah, thanks.
We'll keep on watching you. That was really cool. That was really, really good
I
game.
like that. I
Yeah,
just like that
Yeah,
position.
that was a really good game. Really good game. So where were we? We were, I think we were round the under.
I want to check that knight endgame again.
Oh, yes. Was that where? Let's have a look. Are they maybe still playing? Oh, yeah, it's there. Oh, no, something's gone wrong.
Uh-oh.
No, it hasn't. Or maybe it has. No, it hasn't, I don't think. It's fine. He's played a different move order, but it's fine. So knight c3 played. So the idea is that we were looking f3 knight e4. That's right. It's
So
transposed
this
back.
is under control now.
All under control. The only can we do something sneaky? We can.
We can.
We can. Can we go round with king f1?
King b5.
Well, no. If you go king b5, I will go king e2. And then after king b6, I will go king d3. And I will laugh evilly.
Okay.
So, but what I think you can do is to give the checkeroonie and then take here. And annoyingly enough, I don't know how it works with Tempe, but you're also there. So I think that would definitely be the best attempt for Black. I think just king f1, and then see whether White sees knight d2, because that actually is.
You have to do it.
You have to do it. Yeah. But after knight d2, that would actually just be winning. Almost seems slightly unfair, that I have to say, but yeah. Brilliant. I mean, it's going to be a brilliant ending from both players, you've got to say.
Yeah.
Under 12 section. Let's have a look. We've got Thomas Moran against Hugo Eru. This looks like in general.
Another endgame.
Yeah. It looks like.
White should win, right?
Well, in principle, it's a very nice endgame for White because of this pawn on b6, and you've got a dark squared bishop. However, it's will require some care for the following reason. If I take on there, if f3, then there's knight d2 check. I'll show on stream. That's right. Haha. There we
I'll
are.
show that one on stream as well.
Haha. We're back.
Temporary hitch.
Temporary hitch, all under control. So yeah, rook c7, knight d3, rook c2. So yeah, we go a6 and then maybe king takes c4. And then we're just going to claim that actually it's still not easy for white to get free somehow. Not easy, this. Knight c6, knight d5, knight d, because knight d3 we just go rook c2 again, and otherwise, I mean, well, you've got to be a little bit careful because if you could sort of say, well, imagine white goes h3, I just bring my king over, but then we've got to watch out for a7 under those circumstances. But I'm sure you could work out a way to just make white run out of tempi, really.
Showing Emil Steiner as 0 time.
Indeed, but I don't think that's correct. But yeah, this could be very dangerous for white still. Really very dangerous indeed. So, or could you do something better? I mean, maybe what you could do is just to go, would this work? E5? So after king there, I go knight d3. And you go maybe king e4, and I go knight b2. Rook c2, I just go king d1, and I'm okay. Maybe king c1, something like that. Would be sort of okay for white there. So I don't know. I would expect white to be able to deal with it. Maybe a couple of desperado moves like this, and then you're coping. But on the other hand, black. What I'm slightly worried about is that black could actually just come around with this king somehow. But I don't know whether it's, well, that's it is looking a little bit worrying. It must be said.
C1.
And
then you're going.
Rook takes c1.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, knight b2, you could sort of do. Well, I could choose to go king a2, and pick up your rook, but I don't think that would be the best line, because probably this would be, well, king's a very long way away. I don't like that at all. But I mean, you could just take on b2, of course, and yeah, these are a little bit annoying. But your bishop, when your bishop returns, it's going to be protecting the kingside pawns. It's the wrong bishop for the rook's pawns. So, but it looks quite good. I mean, it wouldn't amaze me if black had a way to make this really unpleasant for white. But yeah, it's kind of it's a very complicated position. So let's have a look. Which other games have we got going? We've got George Zhao, who drew with Badana yesterday in the championship. So he's one of the guys playing both the championship in the afternoon, and then the 7-round classical play due to championships in the morning. I'd call him a bit of a lunatic for doing that, but the juniors, the amount of chess they're playing, chess they're playing nowadays, unbelievable. Okay, this is rook h1. Black's playing it a bit safe there. So I think this is going to be liquidating to a draw, to be honest, unless something miraculous happens, because this queen is pinned, so takes. If you go d3, I can go knight e1 or knight b4. So most likely, black will play something like queen d5, I guess, and then maybe we go knight d4, and we take on the check, and that's going to be.
Has liquidated.
That really has liquidated. So looks like most likely.
Queen rook takes g4 check.
I see. Oh, no.
Oh, has this happened?
Yeah, I was going to say that this was. I was going to say simply that this was impossible, but that it didn't work. But there are a lot of checks, but there's not going to be any more than.
Maybe he's going for perpetual.
Not going to be any more than a draw.
So say he goes
king f2, for example.
F2.
Then we've got, I mean, you can go Queen F5, for example. I don't know. I mean, I can go back to G1 and
Just repeating.
I could just repeat. I could try and
Maybe you
block.
can try
It's
and-
not easy to
yeah.
block, in all fairness, but it's not impossible either. I mean, for example, if I go Queen G4, I can go Queen G2,
D1.
Queen F1, with the idea of takes here. Queen G4, King F2. I don't know. I've got Queen F5 check, but then can I maybe? I guess you'd probably make a draw. It'd probably be a draw. It'd probably be a draw by repetition. It's a bit risky. It's a bit risky, that one, isn't it? It wouldn't be.
Yeah, and he's only got 15 seconds left. I
Yeah.
suppose he had to make a quick decision.
Yeah. But it's maybe he thought there was some chance to win. I mean, I can't imagine that. Check.
D3, yeah.
D3, but I go knight E1.
And you still don't have the D4 square.
You don't have the D4 square, so yeah. Oh God, Bishop G5. My goodness.
Oh,
he's going for it.
He's really going for it, yeah.
This can't be true, right? I just go Queen E2 here, surely.
Queen F4.
King G2. Now I'm threatening Queen E8 to H8. That's the big problem here.
So Queen F5 instead of Queen F4.
Yeah, I just go King G2 again. Because I'm D3. I've got Queen E8 to H8, so I've got no worries about that. And Queen D5 now. I've got Queen F3. You know. So he's played Queen F5, but I think just Queen. I mean, even King E1. I mean, you're quite safe. But King G2. Oh my goodness! I think that's all gone horribly wrong there.
Yeah, because you can't go D3 because of Queen E8 again.
Yeah, that's right. And Queen E8 check is coming in. So yeah.
Hello. Are you wanting to show a game? No,
Nope.
that's fine.
Let's have a look, and then we've got Yuen Ding against Matthew Grimley.
Okay.
A lot of pawns getting exchanged there, so black should be holding comfortably. Takes knight f6, and yeah, I mean you just keep attacking this pawn. You know, if you come here, I go knight h5. If you go bishop f3, I go wherever, knight d7. There's not much you can do. Bishop e4, I go back to knight f6. So that's looking like that is looking like a draw. I'm not going to make the pun again, but it's yeah. So let's keep on going with the games that are still going.
Yeah.
Oh,
just one left.
one
no,
e4 best by test.
Yeah.
Under 12s, I think everyone's finished there.
Yeah.
We've got under 14s.
Just under 16s left.
Oh, this was just one game in the under 14, so this is just a draw. There's really very little that you can do in this position. And let's have a look at the under 16s then, playing. Okay, so, oh dear.
This one, where black sacrificed a rook, but not for enough, we think.
Oh, actually, yeah, it was
he done something clever.
Wait, he played Queen A2 to stop Queen A8. Actually, that was the thing. But Knight takes D4 has been played. Queen B2, Queen E2, and yeah, he can't defend the E8 square. So this is forcing the exchange. Oh, so it looks like black somehow just at the end there just got time trouble was just a little bit too much, and an impulsive decision there. Bishop B6 played, Knight H5. This is going to be a draw pretty soon. I would have thought. King E4. We can do various things. Knight F6 check is the simplest because you can't move away because we take the pawn on D5, and after King D4 we go Knight H5. So peace will erupt on the chessboard here, and then we just have a look to see whether Okay.
That's
This one has
going to be for white.
This one has gone as well. So let's just check that we've seen all of the games that are going on. Under 8s, under 10s, under 12s, under 14s, under 16s. Yeah, we've just got these 2 games going on, but this one is a racing certainty win for white. Famous last words. And this one is a racing certainty draw for black.
Okay, we shall wind up here.
I think we're going to wind up there. That's been really good,
Yeah,
actually.
yes.
There've been some really good games. I've just seen some quiet positional games from 8 and 10-year-olds, which is really really very impressive. Very, very nice indeed.
And a couple of nice games shown by the people that played them as well.
Yeah, no, thanks very much to the kids for coming on the stream and showing the games. It's always really nice to explain all that. So
Yeah.
no, great. Thanks.
So thank you all from
Thanks.
the British here in Warwick University. Very nice, spacious venue to play the games. And it's going to be an excellent junior tournament ahead. We're just here for today to comment on that junior round 1, but lovely to see so many juniors taking part. Good luck to everyone for the rest of your games. Thanks all you guys in the room, and thanks everybody online very much for watching.
Thanks for watching, everyone.